London indie underground, 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 London indie underground. London indie underground, 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 London indie underground with your host Jimmy. London indie underground, 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 London indie underground with your host Jimmy. The music for all your needs with great personalities, bringing all wet bands in the land to all broadcasting you straight out from the fall. London indie underground, 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 London indie underground with your host Jimmy. London indie underground, 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 London indie underground with your host Jimmy. James, that is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the London Indie Underground, London's only independent music podcast showcasing some of our area's most talented artists, bands, and personalities. Want to thank you for joining us this evening. Very special podcast. Very privileged to have our guests in studio with us today. And I'm assuming that, normally our listenership is, London, southwestern Ontario. But right now we're going under the assumption that perhaps we have a bit of an international following. With the
flavor,
with the guests that we have today. So first off, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jimmy James. We're broadcasting live from the Vault Recording Studio here in London, Ontario. And if you've not tuned into our program before, what we try to do here is to showcase independent artists from southwestern Ontario. Simply put, there are not a lot of commercial options that are available in this market in particular for bands. And we're trying to offer some support, not only through airplay, but also through having some, more recognized contributors come into the studio and offer their insights and perspective on the music scene. And we've been really privileged to have had, some of our more recognized contributors from this market come in to the studio. It's been great. So I'd like to introduce Gary Begner, my co-host.
Hola.
How are you, G?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, man.
Good.
I got to tell you, the last couple of weeks has been pretty nuts.
You've been pretty everywhere.
Yeah. In a good way, though. I can't complain. It's just a lot of stuff on the go here on the back end. London Indie Underground isn't the only thing I'm involved with. We've got a couple of other ventures that are happening here, as well as the Vault Recording Studio and our rehearsal studio. So yeah, that's kind of a lot of things have been taking my attention lately, but it's really good. And recently, me and this man, Mr. Brandon Eady.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, sir?
I'm tired.
How are you?
Yeah, I got crust punked last night.
Do tell.
Oh, no, I had a show at the Music Hall last night with The Casualties, Daglo Abortion, Breached, and the Filthy Radicals. And it was a filthy, radical show.
And you're all punked out?
Yeah, man. Those kids are nightmares. No, I don't mean to be rude, but... Well, actually, I don't care. I'm rude every week I'm on
Yes.
here. Just the most blatant, disrespectful kids ever. I've never been yelled at so many times and called an asshole because they got kicked out of the bar because they were drunk. And they weren't allowed back in because they were drunk. Like, one kid fell asleep on a couch. And we were trying to explain it was not cool to sleep on a couch. And he just didn't understand. And, like, he wasn't just sleeping on the couch. We had to boot fuck the couch to wake him up.
Really?
Like, yeah.
That's punk rock.
Great show, though, man. It was punk rock. I love it.
Those of you that may not be aware, Mr. Brandon Eady and myself have taken this little podcast venture, London Indie Underground, to commercial radio. Well, I guess not commercial radio.
No, it's
college
not.
radio. It's
College
the
radio.
cure for commercial radio, CHRW FM here in London, Ontario, where we have a prime time radio show now from 3:30 to 6 p.m. on Fridays, where we're just jamming local content. We've been giving away some tickets, doing some concert announcements. It's been really great and really embraced by the community. Everybody seems to be really excited about it, as we are. Just we can kind of do our part to give back and showcase some music and put it into your ear holes because you may not have otherwise heard it. So joining us today, very excited about this. We have two members of the all-girl metal band Kittie, Mercedes and Morgan Lander. Ladies, thank you.
Whee!
Very excited to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
It's kind of been a long time coming. I've been, I don't want to say hammering you, but I've been reaching out to you a couple of times saying, hey,
that would probably be a
podcast.
little bit inappropriate.
I don't want to say hammering you neither.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Kind of sounds like pervy stuff,
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
Not really. No, but truth is, I've been pretty excited to have you guys on here, and particularly from London, when we look at some of the bands that have put us on the map, at least from my perspective in moving here in '99, you guys were kind of one of the artists that emerged quickly and went on to do some pretty cool things. So
Totally.
I'm looking forward to digging into, you know, the past of Kittie and the present and what you guys have kind of planned going forward.
For sure.
Also joining us to the right, my right and yours as well, Mr. Travis Getty, who's playing in a couple of bands now, Trauma Hawk
Yep.
and Heart and Lungs.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were on. The other dudes were on here a couple weeks ago. So.
That's right. So those that have been following along, Heart and Lungs, a newly formed band that decided that they wanted to put together a documentary to capture the band from inception to the first show. And the title of the documentary is called From Terrible to Tolerable. And it's going to capture all of those scenes from the first initial meetings to the first jams and whatnot.
Yep.
And we've kind of been following along. Has the teaser or the first video dropped yet? Or
No, we just have the teaser out right now. The first episode, one of the dudes was here not too long ago. He said within the next week and a half, the first episode's going to be out. So
Okay.
we're hoping. So.
Yeah, they're in the other room right now. You never know who's going to show up here on podcast nights. We've
Yeah.
kind of had a mixed bag of people that want to come in and you know, listen in, take part. We got a nice little lounge set up on the other side with the TV so you can see what's going on here in studio. And it's been pretty cool. You know, as far as networking goes and meeting some new people, we have an open door policy. We always invite people to come down and sit in with us.
And it's grown so much. Like when you figure when we first started, it was just that.
Yeah.
We didn't have any of all the cameras and monitors or place for people to hang out.
Right.
It's just get in here and somehow find a space, and that's that.
Yeah. Well, we've been jamming like the 1 week. I think we had like 10 people in
Yeah.
the
Was that
control
last
room.
week?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it happens. You know, what are you going to do? All right. Well,
There
let's
was a lot
get
of
to
people in here last year.
last week.
Last week, rather.
Yeah,
Last
well,
year.
Last year.
Pat Maloney, when he was here too, it was jammed.
Yeah.
And you know, it was funny because I'm trying to host a podcast, but meanwhile there's like 3 or 4 different conversations that's happening on the couch, right? Like people didn't know that you know we're broadcasting here.
Yeah.
People are
There's
listening.
important shit going on. Everyone shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
That didn't even work. He was like 10 seconds. Coming back.
Yeah, after a while, it's just I'm just gonna turn off my microphone
Yeah.
and see what happens. See where this conversation goes.
Yeah.
So listen, if you'd like to chime in on the conversation here today as we dig into the history of Kittie, please feel free to send us your tweets. It's probably the best thing to do at London_indie_UG. You can also connect with us on Facebook, facebook.com/London Indie Underground, or by all means, feel free to tweet the ladies, and I'm sure they'll be working their streams for you and connecting with you. What is your Twitter handle? Is it at Kittie Official?
It's at Official Kittie.
At Official Kittie, pardon me.
Yes.
So, at Official Kittie. So if you'd like to chime in. Also, the Ustream window that you happen to be watching right now, on the right-hand side is a little comment field where you can connect with us and post your questions or comments. Believe me, this is an open format, so we try to encourage people to get involved. So we should probably get to some music. And that said, I would like to take an opportunity to debut a track from a brand new band that recently formed called The Unreal, which features Josh Torrance from Baptized in Blood, as well as former members of the Skag Barons. And what are the other guys in it?
Shotgun Rules.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach was a bass player in Shotgun Rules for a while. Scott Swain played in this band called the Far From Heroes from Sudbury, and then he was in the Black Maria, who were all over wrestling for a good while.
Oh, I
Really?
forgot about that band.
Toured with Evanescence and yeah,
Kyle Bishop.
Kyle Bishop from Grade was also in the band. Yeah,
And they're playing a Call the Office tonight, aren't they?
They are
Yeah,
playing
they're
at Call the
playing
Office.
in
Yep.
like 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I don't know. I know
Doors
it's
are
early.
eight, they
Doors
go on
are
at like
eight.
9. They've all been posting. So
Yeah, they said it was an early show. I said to you if they wanted to drop by, and they didn't have time, but Torrance sent me a couple of the new tracks here. And these are just the demo versions of the stuff. It looks like they're going to be going into the studio here really soon, but Josh is a talented engineer in his own right, so he's been working with them to, you know, refine the sound, but he's got a couple of tracks for us, and this is the debut, and it's really cool, I got to tell you.
It's unreal.
All right, yeah, so let's check it out.
Ah.
This is Crawl by The Unreal on the London Indie Underground.
Someone's coming in. Turn the porn off.
The Unreal with Crawl here on the London Indie Underground. Great track. I really like the sound that those
That was
guys
unreal.
are. Yeah, it was unreal. They jam just upstairs here in the building. Those tuning in that not aware where we are right now, this is a whole community of bands. There's about 30 or 35 practice spaces in here, and just an abundance of talent that's in this building. So we've kind of been privileged to connect with a bunch of them to be able to showcase them, including the Unreal. So we were kind of talking offline, and we talked about the social media, and I guess you have some people that are following you right now and
Yep.
have retweeted and whatnot. So is there any, first off, are there any shout outs that you need to give?
I would like to give a shout out to Derek from South Carolina, because I know he tweeted us, and he's one of my favorites. I like him.
He's going to be happy with that.
Well, I don't think that I could like him because he likes boys. But
Oh, and Rosie just retweeted it too. She's from New Mexico. Yeah, people seem to be stoked, so that's really cool.
So you guys have some super fans?
also Larry, by the way,
Oh,
from
of course.
November's Doom. I don't know if you know the band or not. They're from
November's Doom.
Yeah.
They're from Chicago. He just retweeted it. So they have their own podcast. Like
Okay.
they have the November's Doom podcast. So they've been trying to get us on the show for a while. So I'm sure he's testing the waters right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're probably gonna have to get pretty outrageous.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I
do
think
it.
they're
Let's
the
take our
podcast-
pants off,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's how we roll.
Well,
I think
now,
Edie was planning on it.
I've already got my belt undone.
Let's just get shit real
I'm
weird.
not
and
wearing
see what
any
happens.
underwear.
I did it with my mind.
The only thing between me and you is a thin layer of gabardine. By the way, this is just Ajay Massey from the band Two Crown King, and he's been hanging around here. I don't know why, but
Resident sub eater.
yeah, he always rolls in with food and
He never
jams
brings
it.
us anything.
I know. How inconsiderate. So, ladies, first question: do
Okay.
you have some super fans that I'm assuming are following along with all your little things that you post up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we've been trying to advertise this for like the past week. I guess we really only had it confirmed like about a week ago.
Right,
anyways.
right, yeah.
So we've been tweeting and that sort of thing. I'm sure that there's quite a few people that are tuning in because this is like the first interview that Mercedes and I, or anyone from Kittie really, has done in pretty close to a year now.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of silence and a lot of other things, but we haven't really talked a lot about what's been going on and that sort of thing. But I'm sure there's quite a few fans listening from all over. I don't know if your podcast afterwards, can you like do like the stats and see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be curious to find out.
Yeah,
Pretty
we'll be
cool, but-
posting it up too. We've got an archive, our
Cool.
YouTube channel, youtube.com/LondonIndieUG. I believe there's 29 or 30 previous weeks of guests and music that we've showcased from this area. So we will be archiving it for your listeners that weren't able to tune in tonight,
Cool.
as well as anybody that would like to review it after the fact. So I guess it poses the question. So you've taken a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to?
I'm like nothing.
Not a whole lot
No?
in Kittyland, no. Just kind of took a well-deserved break. You know what I mean? It was time.
So the last album that you put out.
Yeah.
And now I know you toured that extensively, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's I Failed You is
Yes.
the title of it. And I had a conversation with you about you guys had spent some time in Europe, right?
Oh yes, we've done that.
How long did you tour that album?
What, I Failed You?
Yeah.
That, I don't know, that album cycle was kind of short. We did a full tour in 2011 when it came out. And then we did we did a London show, Toronto show, we did a show in Sault Ste. Marie, and then we did Australia and a full North American tour after that. And that was about it. So pretty much like, when was the 2011 tour? That was like August, September?
I think the record came
October?
out. Did it come out November?
I don't even
I
remember.
don't even know.
Yeah.
There's so many to remember.
Yeah.
I have no. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was August.
Yeah, I think it was August 30th, actually. So we toured for like 2 months in the fall,
Okay.
and then we came home for a few months.
And then did another. Did Australia. Did a few one-offs kind of deal, and then did
45
another,
days in a row.
And then did
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No days off.
That's grueling.
It was insane.
What?
Yeah.
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 I have a hard time
John
doing a week
Finberg's
in a row.
crazy. Don't worry, he's not listening.
Oh, is this your
I
is this
didn't
your
invite
tour?
him.
Your booking agent?
Yeah, this is our booking agent.
So 2 months for in support of that album. So and you mentioned that the cycle was kind of weird. Or were you accustomed to touring for longer?
Usually,
Yeah.
I mean, now the touring market is so strange. You can't tour 9 months out of the year. I mean, like, honestly, on our second record, we did 12 American legs and, like,
Wow.
3 European legs. You know what I mean? Back then, in 2001, 2000, you know, you could do that kind of stuff because, A, people in America had money, and they don't have money anymore. They don't really have the disposable income that they did earlier on in the decade. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, Oracle, we did 12 U.S. tours.
I think we were actually out on tour like 9 or 10 months out of the year that it came out.
Up until about, we kind of started to slow things down around with touring because we realized that things were just starting to get really rough out there. Around 2006 is when we started to notice it, 2005, 2006. So that's when we started noticing the U.S. climate, you know, changing with, you know, the way people spend their money and stuff like that. So
Right.
in a sense, we kind of saw the recession coming, which is
Okay.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And
Like-
a lot of other bands saw the same things as we did. And, you know, a lot of bands don't tour like that anymore because it's very costly.
Yeah, it has to be
Certainly.
very strategic, you know, like they're doing their A and B markets, and that's it. You know, like
Right.
most of the time it's like, you know, people come to the show and they're like, well, I have $20, you know, either I'm going to buy some beer or I'm going to buy a shirt, but they can't have both. It's kind of sad.
Beer.
Yeah.
That's actually usually the choice.
Yeah.
That's normally my choice.
Which
Yeah.
is, I don't know, it's kind of sad though because, you know, a lot of bands, well, most bands, their bread and butter is merch, you know, it
Right.
keeps the machine rolling, puts gas in the vehicle and pays everyone, so
Certainly.
it's an integral part of the whole touring thing.
So you ladies started young. So
Very
when,
young.
So how old were you when your first album broke? Like,
I was 15,
I was 17.
wow.
Yeah,
and we had been a band for...
a couple of years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. I was gonna bring that video in.
Oh, no!
Oh, what? You have something
the
terrible?
Saunders video, when we played at Saunders.
No fucking way.
I still have it, and
I'm
I've
sorry that you
told.
do.
I know.
Burn that shit.
I've told Mercedes for like 10 years that I was gonna bring that out, and I remember talking about it one week here.
I was gonna bring that for your first 4-song EP.
Oh my god.
But it's in Mississauga, and I haven't been back to pick it up.
Good.
But no,
I'm glad none of these things have worked out.
no. But I don't mean in a bad way. Just to
Yeah.
be like, hey, remember this? Like it was awesome, and you guys are like on the back and stuff, and we're just like, oh man, these chicks are hot. Like, wow.
I went to some
I
crazy
went to
rock
high
Wait,
school
school.
wait,
with those
they're
guys,
they're
so.
15. We're like, whoa,
Yeah,
they're not so
that's
hot. They look cool though.
My dick just went soft. The thought of jail
Or
after
it
a big
was
prison.
still hard,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to tell
Yeah.
anyone it
Yeah.
was still hard.
No, but you remember that 4-song EP?
Yeah, I totally
And
do.
I was like, I still have that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, how did it all start? I mean, you started out younger, obviously, playing high school and whatnot.
Mercedes was 12 and I was 14 when the band started, so it was 1996. And originally, I guess, Mercedes and Fallon, who started the band with us, they met in gymnastics class, which is kind of weird because, you know, that's how young we actually were.
Yeah.
You know, they were doing gymnastics.
I was really big for my age too, like really tall. So like I was like a foot taller than everybody
Yeah.
else. It really fucked my back up.
But yeah, so they started jamming, and like, you know, I guess you guys had just like, you know, had common interests in music. And
Yeah,
that sort of
we
thing.
really just we had the same kind of, you know, musical taste. And Morgan and I had already had my drum kit by that point, and Morgan and I were kind of, you know, secretly, you know, jamming in the basement as well.
Yeah, kind of learning together, you
But
know.
we-
But it was kind of a separate thing.
Yeah, but you know, she'd always be like, "Hey, you want to play some Silverchair songs?" And I'd be like, "Okay, man."
Nice.
You know, so and then so Morgan was playing separately with a couple other girls, or just one other girl, and Fallon and I were playing together. And the one girl that was going to play with us, because originally the band was called Addict's Dream, yeah, before Morgan was in the band, and the girl that was going to play with us, she just, every time we'd have band practice, she just wouldn't show up. So I was like, well, my sister plays guitar, and do you want? And so Morgan came down and started jamming with us, and we played as a 3-piece with no bass player for about a year, and then I wasn't in high school yet, but Tanya, our first bass player, went to high school with Fallon at Saunders, where also Edie went to school. So he was in the grade above me. But
I was the older boy.
He's getting all the chicks.
yeah, all the
Yeah.
Or none
Yeah.
of the chicks.
none of them.
None of the chicks.
But Fallon had met Tanya, and I ended up meeting her at a.
Was it the tea party?
It was a tea party show at the Western Fair.
Yeah.
And I ended up, I was like, I want to crowd surf, and I went crowd surfing and got gravel all in my elbow. But that's besides the point. And then we started having Tanya over for practice, and by the time Tanya joined the band, we already had about 3 or 4 original songs that actually ended up being on the first album, Spin. And then from there, it was we had actually signed up for a Supernova Battle of the Bands.
That was our first show.
That was our first show.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
remember
we
that?
signed up.
Yeah.
Such a bummer.
We signed up a couple weeks before we'd even gotten Tanya in the band. We didn't have a bass player. We didn't have anybody.
Yeah, we were just kind of like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Why not,
Which has kind of been our attitude ever since.
That's kind of our motto, actually. Fuck it.
Mantra.
Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
So we signed up for the Battle of the Bands. That was at Call the Office. I remember going, because I'd been there before, or actually I had never been there before, and I remember thinking it was really big, like getting on stage and like watching, and like we didn't win the Battle of the Bands, which kind of sucks. It wasn't.
Yeah, wouldn't
really,
that have been like a really amazing story?
Yeah.
Like we tried it and we won, but no, we lost.
No, we lost.
So a band called 23 Skidoo won though.
Yeah, and we used to have a joke.
That is.
We used to have a joke because
band.
like they were all pretty hot, in our 12 and 14. I think I lied to the hot drummer about my age. I was like, I'm 15. Really, I was like 13 or whatever. But yeah.
But you were
we used
tall
to-
for your age, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
worked out.
big for my age. The joke was 23 skidoo me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
23 skidoo me. But that was our first show, and then our second show, the first show. That's how actually it's kind of funny. Our first show was also the Terminal Wally's first show, who is another
Oh, wow.
London band that kind of. And we actually forged a lifelong friendship there.
Yeah.
Tanya is now married to their best friend, and the singer in the Alcoholics is married to Phil, and I go to their parents' garage to get my car fixed,
Me too.
and it's just like all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? So we forged a lifelong friendship after that. Second show that we played was at Oak Ridge, Morgan's high
Yep.
school, because she didn't go to high school with us. She went to the rich white kid school.
Why didn't you go to the same school?
I don't know. I just kind of I guess Saunders was supposed to be the school that for the area that we lived in Byron. But I don't know. All my friends were going to Oak Ridge. It's not like I was artsy or anything. I just all my friends were going there, and
That's fair.
I went to Saunders because it had an auto body class, and I wanted to fix cars. But yeah, anyway.
That's very cool, though.
I didn't have any friends, so it didn't matter.
Do you still fix cars?
I have a car that I can fix.
Nice.
I got as far as small motors, and then I obviously had to drop out of school to be in a rock band full time.
Of course.
So I only got to small motors, so I can fix your lawnmower like a motherfucker.
Nice. I have a lawnmower that needs fixing, so
I
we'll-
just have
we'll
a
talk.
push lawnmower, so I don't have to fix my lawnmower. I have just one of those rotary.
Nice.
I did that so I could torture myself. So I'm getting exercise while I'm mowing the lawn.
Nice.
So I'm not a fatty.
yeah. So you're not pulling it up over your foot and chopping your toe.
Oh yeah,
off.
Morgan
I
cut
did that once.
part of her toe off.
Yeah.
Really?
With the lawnmower.
With that
No,
lawnmower?
no, with
A real one?
motorized one. Yeah.
No, I don't have a real lawnmower.
Yeah. Yep,
So
good times.
I'm curious to know. So you played, your high school and some of the smaller shows.
Mm-hmm.
Did some bands, really grind it out and spend a lot of time on the road before? I use Baptized in Blood as an example. They had been around these parts for a long time, but with you guys, it seemed to happen pretty quickly.
We
right?
played a lot.
Did you?
Pretty much every weekend we were playing at the
Yeah.
embassy.
Yep.
Well, yeah, close to the time that everything started happening for us. We were there
Yeah.
every weekend. But at the same time, I don't think you reference Baptized in Blood, but it's they were definitely a little older once they
Right.
when they started to get going, and we didn't really have that advantage. I guess we didn't have the ability to
Hey,
play
get in my
until our
car.
20s and then get signed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, things did kind of happen so quickly that you know, we had to kind of get our act together really,
Right.
really quickly.
Yeah,
But yeah, we were playing, you know, every weekend, you know, Call the Office or the Embassy. Really, mostly the Embassy. Like, I remember we had some shows at, like, the Irish Club, wherever that was.
Yeah.
But at that point, you weren't really able to tour, I guess, being as
We
as
did
young as you were.
weekender shows
Yeah.
because we couldn't. We
Right.
were all in high school by that point.
Yeah.
We couldn't take the time off.
Yeah. But
And-
we did want to try to, like, you know, branch out. And if we weren't playing in London, you know, we were playing in, like, Mississauga or Detroit
Toronto.
or Toronto.
We did back before the U.S. border, like to fist you. We used to go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
We used to, and back then it was so much easier to get shows, in my opinion. You know, you just went on, you know, the Angel Fire like web ring, and then you found bands.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you found bands that
That's how we did
you know,
it. We just
that's-
met people, you know,
course.
online.
We just
like
would,
that.
you know, write them on their website and be like, you guys kind of sound like us. You want to play a show? And we trade shows. Back then, it was so easy because, you know, it just seemed like there was a lot less to it.
Yeah.
Like, we were, you know, 13, 14, 15 years old, booking a lot of our own shows and trading shows with bands.
Or maybe we were just really innocent, and that's why it seemed so easy. Because, I mean, now with the advent of, like, Facebook, it's pretty easy to do that sort of thing as well.
Right. At the same time, you guys were pretty niche, though, because there's weren't
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, and still not a lot of all girl, you know, metal bands.
Yeah.
You know, females typically represent, you know, other genres, not traditionally metal, which is, I suppose, what's really refreshing about you guys, and that was what was compelling, perhaps, you know, in the early stages.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So when did the switch kind of flip? And I'm curious to know when that it kind of set in for you guys that okay, we've gone from, you know, weekend shows to now it's at the next level.
We started playing Toronto a lot more often, and we signed up for Canadian Music Week.
yeah, that was kind of...
And that was basically the linchpin. We ended up playing Canadian Music Week, and we were so fucking obnoxious. We got a hotel at the headquarters, and we were so fucking obnoxious that nobody could like ignore us.
Yeah.
Basically,
We were down in the lobby, you know, in the schmooze area.
chasing after like
just yelling at people. And
we were screaming at the
I was at that
Moffats
show.
and like
Very-
I was
yeah.
at that show.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
we were like chasing after the Moffats, like, you know, being like, "Come here, little boy," and like shit like that. Just like we were just being fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because we wanted people to notice us, and in our young, you know, 14, 15-year-old minds, that was the way of doing it, you know what I mean? Be as obnoxious as possible. So we ended up getting a showcase. Who did we play with?
Actually, Canadian Music Week, we had 2 showcases
Yeah.
because Chris Teeter was kind of helping us out.
Played with
and-
Juice.
Did we?
Yeah,
Juice?
I think Juice was like before you guys or whatever, or well, before or after. That was the one I saw at the Rivoli. That's
Yes.
the
Yeah,
one
we
I
played
saw.
the Reverb and the Rivoli. I
Yeah.
remember there was 2
Yeah.
shows. And I think at the time, apparently, it was kind of like a big no-no that we had 2 shows.
Yeah, the people were pissed.
They used to frown upon that huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Now
it's because we
now
had
it's a staple.
insider
Now
help.
bands
That's
play
why.
like 2 or 3 shows there.
I just remember the best part was like we were checking you guys out, and Larissa Gulka
Yep.
was all over your shit. It
Yep.
was awesome. I remember she was standing beside us,
I
and as soon as
remember
you guys started playing, she lost her shit to the person beside her, and I was like. And she's
Wow.
like, these guys are going to be fucking huge. And she had a little spiky backpack. And I
Yep.
totally remember that. And I was just like, that's fucking Larissa Gulka. Man.
Yeah.
I liked her.
No,
she
she
was
was
great.
awesome.
Yeah,
She was awesome.
She was gnarly.
Yeah.
She had
Well,
like
loved
black
you guys.
lipstick and
Yeah,
stuff, you know,
yeah.
her little
She was
videography
like
thing.
the cool fucking videographer, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I just remember being at the Rivoli show and seeing that and having her lose her shit and telling whoever she was with that you guys would be fucking huge. And fucking I was just like, fuck yeah. Because you guys, it was an awesome show. I remember that.
Cool.
I mean, like, we weren't the best musicians in the world. I mean, but I think that there was something different about us that nobody else had really ever done before. And
Right.
I don't think being female really had much to do with it.
It had some.
I
think
think
it
it
did a
had
little bit.
some, but being young had a lot to do with
Of
it.
course.
And being
Kick ass.
being
like,
different.
yeah.
We were different. I don't know of a band that ever sounded like us in the beginning, especially. I mean, we sounded like fucking weird Marilyn Manson, like Portrait of American Family era meets like, I don't know.
Like a lot of people back in the day, they didn't really have a lot of imagination when it came to like trying to compare us, and they'd be like, they sound like Korn, or
No,
like,
we don't.
you know. But like, it's like if you actually listen to that band, we don't sound anything like that. It was very grunge influenced in a way.
Yeah.
And it had that raw power, I think, and that's what a lot of people kind of latched onto.
Yeah, and appreciate. I'm not trying to pinpoint like your success on
Yeah.
being, a female metal group. It's just, at the time, I think you were kind of blazing a new trail. And,
Totally. I can appreciate that.
With not, I remember hearing Brackish for the first time and thinking to myself, "Holy shit! Like
You know
these
what's
girls
funny?
are heavy."
Yeah.
Is the dude that we thought it would be cool if somebody spun jungle beats behind the song. So it was like Ben Kaplan, the one guy that was engineering that record. He had a friend that was a DJ and paid him a case of beer to do the beats.
Yeah, in the
On-
background. Yeah,
and
there's
that
like the
song-
little like. And you want to know why we did that? Because we thought Econoline Crush was cool.
I,
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. We were like, we want something cool like that, like kind of
We're
industrial.
like, we want to sound like a Econoline Crush.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that guy, I ran into him actually, like called the office a few years ago, and he was like, "You know what I got paid for that? A case of fucking beer." And I was like, "I'm sorry, dude.
Crazy,
I didn't
right?
know any better." But yeah, that song actually was not even going to be on the record. That's our oldest song, Brackish. That's the first song that we wrote as a band.
wow.
And
We ended up actually. I had to go back into the studio because to record the vocals like 2 weeks after we finished the recording and just like send the tracks because I blew my voice out. I couldn't sing it, so I had to wait until it was fine again, and then we went in there. So that's why it was like the song may not have made it onto the album, but we somehow. It's always that weird story like that, right? Like the one song that all the band fucking hates
Yeah.
is always the one they have to play until the end of time.
That's happened so many times in so many bands, right? So maybe we'll leave it there for now, and we'll get to some music. We'll come back, and I'm curious about your experiences in working with Garth Richardson.
For sure.
I think will be a cool story to tell. And I think, too, I know one of our listeners, Siegfried Meyer,
Yes.
who's the producer that worked on the last album
sexy
with
man.
Yep.
you, really cut his teeth, I think, on that album, working with Ben Kaplan as well, right?
Actually, Siggy worked with us during Oracle, which is our
okay.
second album.
Sorry, not the last
we
one,
also
the original.
we also worked with Garth for that album as well. So
Very cool.
yeah, Ben was there, and Garth and Sig, and we have good stories about that recording
oh
session.
yeah, we ruined Sig's life.
Yeah,
we
were
turned him
terrible.
into the degenerate that he is today.
Yeah. He was a quiet German boy, and then he spent 2 weeks with us, and it was
Game
all
over.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check this out. And speaking of Ben Kaplan, who worked on the original record with you, it recently did the new Biffy Clyro record. He was the head engineer of that. He's still working with Garth
Oh,
out of
Biffy.
Vancouver.
Yep.
And we were privileged to work with him for the new Two Crown King album
Heck
that
yeah.
just dropped. It's called 1604. It's on iTunes now. I figured we'd play a song and we'd debut it here that we haven't played yet. So let's check this out. So this is my band and Ajay as well. This
Shameless
is,
self-promotion.
well, what are you going to do? It's my podcast,
we
man.
It's my fucking
Do whatever the
podcast. I
fuck
can
you
do whatever I
want,
want.
Getty.
All right, so this is Two Crown King with C Run
I'm making
Run
a podcast. I'm playing
on the
songs.
London Indie Underground.
Oh shit! It's blowing up.
So apparently there's a lady that says.
I'm gonna take what I can get when I can get it while there's more. I push the funk in family functions, it never let me down before. You can supersede the pretext, plus no one's keeping score. Or we can blame it on the weekend, or just drink and work it all out on the floor.
I know this could have been part of a past life. Bang on minimal, already gas twice. If I hang on, when will they all be amassed right in the streets, giving much to many? We're in the now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut, do we stroll?
No need to come pitter patter evermore. Take a break from 9 to 5, it doesn't mind, it holds the door. Keep me full on homestyle living, backyard fixings, church and chores. Or we could ride this train till morning, still not knowing where it stops or what's in
I know this
store.
could be part of a past life. Bang on, minimal, already gas twice. If I hang on, when will they all be amassed right in the streets? Giving much to many, we're in the Now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? So do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut, do we stroll?
Do we walk, do we run, do we strut, do we stroll, do we tiptoe? Yeah. Do we walk, do we run, do we strut, do we stroll, do we tiptoe?
Now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? Now do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? So do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we tiptoe, do we strut? So do we walk, do we run, do we roll, do we?
Oh, eat a large car.
Two Crown King with See Run Run here on the London Indie Underground. Joined today by members of Kittie. If you happen to be just tuning in, we are London Indie Underground, London's only independent music podcast, showcasing some of our area's most talented artists, bands, and personalities. Kind of want to flip it over to Gary here. I know you're working the streams for us.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of shout-outs to give.
We do. Spencer Pellegrino, a Yay Kitty fan from Albuquerque.
Yay.
Yeah. And Cat Lego says, say hi to Chili for everyone.
Hi, Chile.
Hello, Chile.
Those are Albuquerque toppings.
So, ladies, would you, obviously you've toured extensively. Do you find that there's certain areas that,
To me, I
you
live
know,
with it
are
every day.
really
I
crazy
carry
about,
the pain of the
Kittie?
people. I've heard
South
it's a
America.
heavyweight.
Yeah, South
And
America is pretty much the best for just metal in general. Europe's always good. They always treat bands really well. There's lots good spread. You know, there's always
Delicious foods.
Yeah, lots of
Especially
delicious German
in
meats.
Switzerland and Germany, and strange meat in Germany.
Yeah.
And German sausages are my favorite.
We're
we
a
actually
fan.
used to put on Facebook for fans to bring us in Germany their different kinds of strange sausages. And we would, and I'm
I
not
just
even
walked into the wrong part of the conversation.
and we would literally, like, you know, we'd have like a sprawl of just all the
Yeah.
sausages and strange
Weird
meats and
meats.
stuff, and we'd eat it all, and you know, hope that
you
it wasn't poisoned.
yeah,
But
yeah, accepting stuff from fans is always kind of weird.
yeah, you don't know if they jacked off in
Especially
it or
meat.
not.
Yeah.
Especially, you don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Really.
Buffalo and semen.
Oh.
Texas, we love Texas.
Yeah, I was about to say.
and
that,
anywhere where the Navajo Nation is.
actually. Yeah.
basically.
Where the Navajo Nation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do well in the South. I mean, we do well generally everywhere we go.
Right.
But there's a few hot spots where like it gets pretty insane.
Navajo tacos.
Yeah.
Anywhere in like New Mexico. Usually, we'll post for people to bring us Navajo tacos to the show, and which is like a fry bread. I don't know if you've ever had it before. I
I've
love
not,
food,
no.
by the way, just so you know. It's like bread that's fried, and it tastes like fried deliciousness. And I highly suggest if you ever go to New Mexico, you get a Navajo taco because you'll be 300 pounds by the end of it, but it's well worth it. You got to play a show afterwards, though.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah.
We're kind of a side topic, and we'll get back to what we were talking about earlier. But what was your favorite show? Do you have in your mind any one that kind of sticks out that was a real, wow
That's really
factor?
hard. We've played literally like thousands of shows.
I'm gonna go with probably when we played Japan for the first time. We were at the what was that arena called?
Oh, was it Yokohama?
Yokohama Arena.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yoko Ono Arena. Sorry.
You just sounded like the
That's Yoko Ono, right?
you just sounded like
Singing
the howling
the
of the
national
gin.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, playing with Pantera and Morbid Angel and Slayer all in the same festival,
That was really
and
cool.
I mean, and the amount of drinking that we did afterwards was awesome.
Yeah. That was Pantera's last show ever, actually,
Yep,
as well.
we played Pantera's last show ever.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
really
Insane.
fucking cool.
Yeah, that would be memorable
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think
For
that would
sure.
stand out more than anything.
So I think, yeah, that was like that for me. That's like one of my. I don't remember the show at all. All I remember from that particular. I remember people holding up their cell phones, and we over here in North America we didn't have cell phone cameras yet, but they had them over there, and I was like, I asked the one Japanese guy, I was like, why are they holding up their cell phones? And he was like, oh, they have cameras, and I was like, okay. That's weird. I've
The
never
future
seen
is
anything.
now.
Yeah, the future is now in Japan.
Yeah, that was 2001. So
We're
Yeah.
pretty behind the times here with our technology
Yeah, I
in
know.
Canada.
They already
Wow.
have phones that give you a blowjob over there.
Really?
They
I
have
am
toilets that do.
Yeah.
To Japan.
They
Yeah.
host
Fuck this.
full laser anime concerts. Have you seen any of that stuff?
Yeah,
No.
that's so insane.
Can't remember what. Yeah, I'll pull up a video. It's friggin' incredible. Terrible pop. Weird.
What's more terrible is that the animated figure is actually kind of hot.
Yeah,
and I
she
feel
is.
bad about
She gives
watching
me
it.
like
It makes me feel really awkward, but I'm fine with it.
It's okay. You can
Kinda like Sailor
you can
Moon
fuck a
does.
cartoon.
No, well, it basically is this pop star that is Sailor Moon, but it's created by using all of these lasers.
So it's like how the gorillas do their thing.
Yeah,
Like the Tupac thing.
Is
but
it- is it
super.
like-
yeah,
I
it
was gonna
was.
say that.
It's
Yeah.
but way.
Holographic
more
Tupac.
advanced.
And speaking of fucking cartoons.
Oh, good segue to
So
this
I
conversation.
know Tanya, actually our original bass player Tanya, and the bass player for the Alcoholics. She told us, she's kind of a weirdo. She told us that when she was a kid, she had a crush on Launchpad from
Yes!
Darkwing Duck,
Amazing.
and she like imagined
Darkwing Duck?
herself
That's
like
perfectly
being
alright.
married to him. And then when she found out that he wasn't real and he was a cartoon, she was very sad.
Yeah.
Wah,
So-
wah, wah.
Like I'm part finding out
Yeah,
that Santa's not
not
real,
as
just
not as cool
heartbroken.
as you wanting to fucking anime broad, you know.
You'll see. The total babe.
Jessica Rabbit, dude. Straight
Oh
up.
yeah.
I'm in.
Who Framed
I'm
Roger
in.
Rabbit? I'm
I'm down.
I
Getting
like
boners
humans.
from cartoons.
There's stories of guys in Japan that have actually married anime like figures.
Oh, you know what's really
Well,
weird
they have those
too?
real dolls.
Well, Yeah.
that-
just like
that's
the show,
creepy.
Yeah.
the show Archer.
You know what's even
Yeah,
weirder
yeah.
though is they have okay, so when you're in Japan, they have vending machines for everything. You can go put a couple yen in, get a beer, walk down the street. You can put a couple yen in, and then you open up this door and there's a frigging bed on the street that locks behind you. They also have schoolgirl panties that apparently businessmen take into they pop in the machine and they get their package of dirty panties, and then what they do is they spray it with water with like a spray bottle, and then they put it over their lampshade so their room smells like little girl pussy.
So that's fucking weird.
Wow.
Yep.
Why
They
would
have
you
a
do that
strange
when you can
culture.
Just get
They-
rid
Oh,
little girl pussy.
I've talked about this before,
I guess
but
it's so
I
you
think
don't go
it's
to jail.
so have you ever seen the show Sin Cities, or it's hosted
Oh,
by
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah.
And he
Ashley.
goes to the fucking places
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
underground.
Right.
But yeah.
So he goes and he takes in sexual culture from
Yeah.
different places, right?
Mm,
So it
that
happens
sounds
to
like
be
fun.
over in
Showcase finest.
yeah. So he happens to be in Japan, and he's on set of a game show, and it's so you want to be a stripper, or so you want to be a prostitute, or something
Really?
like that.
Oh, that sounds like
and
a
so
great
there's
show.
there's
There's a
three
fun-
there's
there's a
three
fun line.
girls that are vying for the title of to be a stripper or whatever the case may be, or porn star. That's what it is. So you want to be a porn star.
Oh wow.
So these girls are just getting a train run on them by a bunch of different guys.
On
And
live?
meanwhile, there's a studio audience, and he's looking at his watch, and it's 5:20, and he says 5 million people are watching this show right now.
what?
Yes.
It's weird because
Crazy.
in their pornography, actually, you're not allowed to show pubic hair.
You're not
No,
allowed
it's
to
all
show-
blurred out.
When
It's
Yeah.
blurred.
they actually blur it out. It's pubic hair.
Yeah.
It's it's not your penis. Like the penis is fine apparently, but it's just the pubic hair. And they
What if they shave?
Sacred.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know. Apparently they're not
No, it's
supposed
still
to.
blurred. No,
Yeah.
they blur out all the
yeah.
genitalia and naughty
5
bits.
o'clock in
What
the
the
afternoon.
But yeah,
watching
it's
porn on
it's
live
dinner-
TV,
dinner
jerking
time.
off
Dinner
in a
time.
live studio audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live studio studio audience.
It's like
Pretty
After
crazy.
school programming at its best, apparently.
It's a hallmark moment.
Syrupy Niku.
So maybe we'll circle back now to.
Yeah, yeah. From
And I
Japanese
want to
porn Kittie.
apologize to some of our listeners that maybe didn't expect the content to
I'm not
steer
Yeah.
The
into the
young
dish.
girl underwear lamp.
Yeah.
You know, it's a given when Mercedes and I are in here that we're going to talk about
We're,
crazy shit.
you know what? We've seen a lot of really fucked up stuff. You know.
Cool. Do tell.
Yeah, man.
Tell us some more fucked up shit that you
I mean, like, honestly, like, I've got so many stories that are X-rated.
do it.
I've
What's-
seen
what-
Tommy Lee have sex with 2 women. Not
Really?
just 1, 2.
At the same
separate,
time?
No, separate times.
That's nothing.
I saw him bang a girl on top of his bus once, and there was just, like, a crowd of us just like, oh, look, there's his penis. And then I went over to his house once, and he was fucking a girl in his pool. And then I was like, fuck this party. I'm going to see Cannibal Corpse.
Like showgirl style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good reference.
Nice
Wow.
reference.
Best movie ever.
Well,
And by best, I
pretty-
mean
yeah,
worst.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, clearly you've seen your fair share of crazy.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, like
Cool.
bestiality and
Live bestiality?
no, I'm kidding about that. If I caught anybody fucking an animal, they'd be getting fucked by my fist.
What do you mean you never seen a donkey show before?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know what's funny though is we went
Actually,
searching
felt bad
for
for the
one.
dog.
Yeah, they're hard to find, right?
Morgan and
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
searching for one in Texas once, and we couldn't find it, and I was very disappointed. We also went searching for the live sex shows in Amsterdam, and we couldn't find those either. But Jeff, our old guitar player Jeff Phillips, and our old light guy, who will remain nameless because he actually has a normal job now, and you know,
Yeah.
I would feel really bad. I'm not allowed to talk about tour at all because he has a wife now. So around her, I can't mention anything, you know, kind of fucked up. But so he remains nameless. He lives in town, but they got pulled in actually by this like weird Englishman with like a curly mustache and got sat in the front row for a live sex show.
Yeah,
And-
mind you, they were on mushrooms, and they were like, "Oh, you're from Canada. You get to go in the front row."
The splash zone.
Yeah. And they're just like
Yeah.
You don't get a punch
recoiling
over
in
the splash zone.
horror.
Wow.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, donkey shows are hard to find. I
Yeah.
was in Tijuana and I couldn't find one. That's
Really? See, I've heard that it's actually a
sound very
lure
bummed out
for
about
people to like mug you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to come to the donkey show? Come to the this back alley, and then
Oh,
they beat
really?
you up and take your
Oh
money.
yeah, because everyone when they're there are, well, where the fuck am
Yeah.
I gonna see a
It's a good thing
donkey
I never
show
found a
before?
donkey show.
Yeah.
And then they
for
lure you
real.
down in alleyways, and now they're
You
mugging
can just
your
look
kid.
that up on the internet now. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
No,
But
I'll
this
pass.
was 10 years ago.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Now
I
you
guess-
can just Google donkey show.
Yeah, fair enough.
You could probably do it right now.
He's
Just
like,
kidding.
I don't wanna
We
virus.
don't endorse
No,
googling
I
donkey
won't
show
be looking up
on
donkey
London
show.
in the Underground. Just saying.
Yeah.
Nor will we post up any links for any
That's
such
a lie.
content.
You're gonna as soon as you get home,
Unless it
you're
has to do
gonna.
with tricks or jumping, right? Those.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So let's
Back on topic here.
back on point here.
I want to hear some crazy stories, man.
I do want to hear some crazy stories too, but I want to give some insights. We actually had a tweet here. Let me pull it up. There was a young lady that
Was it a
Had-
donkey show link?
no, it was not.
Too bad.
You know, I think people want some insights about what they can do from your experiences. And let me quote you this tweet here, if you want to bear with me just for a second. It's from a young lady. Her name is Mary and Jewess, I think. Apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. It says, Mercedes and Morgan, any advice for an upcoming female heavy metal vocalist? Me, I do a lot of Kittie vocal covers.
Well, I hope it's that one
Advice.
girl that we watched the one vocal cover all the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Just practice. Practice makes perfect, and try and find, if you're not in a band, try and find like-minded people that want to practice as much as you do and that are as serious as you.
Yeah, being
And
good at your craft is probably
It's the most important. And
Absolutely.
finding people that are, like-minded and have the same vision as you do. That's important as well. So
Certainly.
Practice makes perfect.
That's fair. That's actually one of the resonating themes from a lot of people that we've had come into the studio and ask them for the advice is to, keep practicing, make your stuff good, You know, you don't want to rush into things. You know, spend the time in the basement and really hone your craft, right?
Totally. Especially for women, because I feel like, especially in metal, they're definitely judged more harshly.
Yeah.
Than,
you know what
than
though,
most,
and it
so.
doesn't help though that a lot of women in music really don't wear a lot of clothes. That makes me take them a lot less serious. If you're running around in a bikini top or like a onesie, you know, and your tits are hanging out, I'm not going to take you serious. I'm going to be like, look at that broad. She wants cock. She's probably not good at her instrument because she's too busy looking in the mirror. So,
True enough.
but at the same time, if you're ugly, nobody gives a fuck. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
So what do you do?
it's a double. It's really hard, you know, like being.
You can't win.
You can't win
basically.
either way. So you might as well be good at what you do and
If
fuck.
you're ugly.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But you might as well be good at what you do and make yourself happy and make yourself, you know, make people look at you for the right reasons, and learn your instrument, because you know it's really embarrassing when a hot girl gets up there and sounds terrible. You know, she might look good, but she doesn't look good. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
Got a tweet here from Michael Spiro
Yeah.
saying,
Uh-oh.
thumbs up on the schoolgirl underwear lamp. That's
Yeah.
friggin' great.
Heck
Of
yeah.
course he would send that. Listen, if you'd like to send us a tweet, if you have any questions or comments,
Spiro.
questions for Kittie, please connect with us at London_indie_UG. Happy to relay it to them. And we always appreciate the feedback, too. Okay. So, I wanted to ask earlier about your experiences in working with Garth Richardson. And I'm kind of curious about this myself, too,
Yep.
because I've always admired Garth, having worked with the likes of Rage Against the Machine. I know he engineered Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of the earlier albums. And I've always considered him to be a great producer, and obviously from London area, his father being Jack Richardson, which I had the opportunity to host the awards on his behalf this past weekend. So I've always been curious about working with him, and you worked with him on a couple of albums.
We did.
the first record, nothing was, you know, we're notorious for going into the studio 110% prepared. So everything's finished when we go in to record. So, I mean, that we wanted the first record to be as raw as possible. Garth even made a point to leave in a lot of mistakes and stuff like that, because he didn't think that people would believe that this band was real. So
He kind of wanted to leave a few things in just to be like, okay, there's, you know, here's the human element to it.
Of course.
obviously.
Yeah.
And actually, he did it for points as well. Our label at the time, we were about to be signed to NG Records. I guess they had approached him and asked him to do it, and he actually was really, really excited after he heard the demos, and he decided to just do it for points on the album instead, you know, in lieu of taking a sum in advance. Yeah, and I mean, it was a really fun experience.
we did it in 9 days on like Fender Squires and Morgan's Yamaha guitar, and I actually I remember Garth asked what kind of drums I had, and at the time I had a pair of orange red Maxwins from like 1983.
I had a set of
They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And Garth was like, "You're going to have to rent a drum kit," and I was like, "Okay." So then I just sold them and bought a drum kit that was not shitty, and recorded on that instead. So I actually ended up buying a drum kit specifically for that recording, and kept it and played on it for years and
still have
years. I actually just sold it, which is sad. It's my silver sparkly. I sold it, but
Yamahas?
Yep.
Yep.
And that's how I actually ended up getting in touch with the Yamaha dealer, because I ordered them. Like, I did a special order for them.
Okay.
Because I wanted 2 floor toms, like Ben Gillies from Silverchair.
Right?
So, so I had to do a special order, and that's actually how Sean from Yamaha ended up discovering me. But yeah, that record was done in 9 days on really crappy guitars, and Garth shipped over all of his awesome equipment. And I remember Morgan blew up one of his
yeah.
original orange amps.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a sad day in the studio. He was very angry.
I bet.
Yeah.
Was it? What did you just turn it up too loudly, or?
I don't know. It probably already was on the outs, because I don't remember like it being too loud or anything crazy like that. But somehow it blew up and it was no more. Yeah. So that was our first experience with Garth. It was really cool. And then we did the second album with him as well. And Siegfried was I guess, the second...
No, he was third engineer.
Third engineer / bitch boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, so we started to torture Siggy, because, like,
he was young at the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was 2001. So he would have been, like, maybe 22?
Yeah.
23, maybe, at the most. And every time Sig would fuck up, we made this thermometer.
He still has it.
He still has it, actually, yeah. And he was like, I'm going to get it framed the last time I was in the studio. But every time he would fuck up, we'd color in a square. And until the top of the thermometer said dance. So
I've
Sig,
heard about this, yeah.
by the time that, we colored in all the thermometer squares, Sig had to do a dance for us.
And it was to this awful CD that Garth had, like some guy that just gave him this terrible, terrible demo, and it was so bad. And we had disco lights, and we got I don't know, it was like some sort of a pole. I don't know.
It was like I think we found like a something that it was probably from the garbage too.
Yeah, it was like a plastic cover for a
shipping tube
poles.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or no, it was a plastic. We stole it off the street, that plastic thing, and then we taped it to the roof and taped it, and Sig ended up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, Sig ended up after the thermometers were all the thermometer was colored in. He ended up, dancing to this terrible song, this actual terrible CD, and taking his clothes off.
Yeah, it was great.
And he ended up having to get really drunk for it. So he told me this story because I wasn't downstairs. Apparently, you walked in on him down in the kitchen area in EMAC, and he was drinking, and you were just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he was like, "I'm gonna have to dance. This is terrible." But anyway, he took his shirt off. I have video of it.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah, you should invite us back in sometime. We can get all
I
that
will.
transferred, and we can put it up on the live feed.
And for those that don't know who we're talking about, it's Mr. Siegfried Meyer, who runs Beach Road Studios just outside of Goderich, Ontario here, who's recently won a Juno Award for Best Metal Album Performance.
Yep.
Good for him, but he had worked with you guys on the last record that you just put out and had kind of been with you during your career. So I'm sure it was great to go to him as the producer for the most recent one, having had that history
The last
with him,
two,
right?
yeah, we did with him. So it was great. And like, we had always kept in touch after the fact. And
yeah, he's always been like a good friend. And I don't know, it's just nice to be able to go somewhere where you're comfortable, where you know everybody. Sometimes studios can feel a little sterile and kind of weird, and there's a lot of pressure involved in that. So it's nice to just be able to hang out and be with people that you are friends with and you're comfortable with.
The studio is like the Cheers of recording
Yeah,
studios.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And there's no lack of dick and fart and vagina jokes.
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean,
all egos are put aside and that sort of thing there with him too.
In
So.
favor of dick jokes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, basically. And he does a great job at dick jokes and recording. So
More so dick jokes.
no, he's better at recording, but I
I've
mean,
heard
he's
some
still
of his dick jokes. They're not.
Yeah, they're not that good.
he's pretty fun. He's great at what he does, and I've gone back there to do studio work and do some recording with the Alcoholies, and I think that's probably the only place I'll record from now on, unless I get some awesome gig where somebody pays me a lot of money to go
Of
somewhere
course.
else.
Yeah, you've been doing some session work. Did you do the Steve Stunning stuff too?
I
Do you remember?
did. I did that in one day, and it's pretty funny. Everybody kind of went in there not knowing the song, and I think myself and Lori were like the two people that really did their homework, because I got the track and I was like, well, I want to make this the best it can be, and her and I jammed it together a couple times, and we got there and we were like, oh, okay, well, I guess we didn't have to be that prepared, but I wasn't even allowed to play to a click track for that recording. They wanted me to do it like everything live off
That's
the floor.
punk rock.
Yeah, and I was like, well, okay, I guess, but I would have liked it better if I had used a click track, but it's okay.
I have it. I've already played it on previous podcasts. It's really
Oh,
good.
have you?
Yep.
Well, that's me playing drums.
Yeah.
Have you heard the final product?
No.
You should play
Bring
it.
it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You haven't even heard it yet?
No. I was just a session musician, so.
Well, then, let me pull it up for you.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll get to some Kittie, because I think
Yeah.
we should
sure.
feature.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll probably end this thing out with just some crazy stories from the
Yes.
road.
Sure, we could
Please.
just talk about craziness
Yes.
for hours.
Is that,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to know. And then, maybe some more insights for some of our listeners that are
For
aspiring musicians. I know over the last little while, our listenership has really grown. And a lot of that is, younger artists and people that are looking for advice and feedback. But at the same time, I know if I was a listener on the other end, I'd want to hear some crazy stories too.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely. So let me see if I can find this for you.
Today I learned where to book a show, and that dick jokes are funny.
So I have 2 tracks here. Let me see. I have Punk Rock Soldier and She's a Prostitute.
I think you want to go with Punk Rock Soldier because it's,
She's a Prostitute sounds pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
That was actually
the
the
title
one
just
they,
sells
that they
that.
played before.
Yeah.
I was listening to the podcast the day.
Kinda
before.
fits our
If you're
format.
worried
It's
about
all
the
over
content, is that what you're concerned about? The lyrical content?
No,
of it,
no.
or-
If you guys haven't played Punk Rock Soldier yet, you might as well play it.
I think we play them both.
Well,
Pick one. It's up to you, dude.
I
Is that, you would prefer Punk Rock Soldier?
sure, why not?
Okay. Well, let's do this. All right, this is Steve Stunning featuring Mercedes on drums with Punk Rock Soldier on the London Indie Underground.
I'm gonna lose my job working for the city. If I don't clean up at the methadone clinic, my supervisor's furious. My concept has been hideous and wrong, yeah. I might be older, but I'm still a punk rock soldier. I said, girl, put on your fishnet stockings. We're gonna bump tonight till the joint starts hopping. She's opinionated and I guess sometimes she's a bitch, but I adore her. She might be older, but she's still a punk rock soldier. Well, we didn't get home till 6 in the morning. Yeah, the postman said this is your last warning. Why can't you be responsible? Where did you get that chip on your shoulder? Already told you, I'm still a punk rock soldier. Already told you, I'm still a punk rock soldier.
Steve Stunning with Punk Rock Soldier here on the London Indie Underground. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. My name is Jimmy James. We're broadcasting live from the Vault Recording Studio here in London, Ontario at Adelaide and Princess. Joining me today, Gary Begner, co-host. Ladies from Mercedes and Morgan from Kittie, and then also featuring Ajay Massey from Two Crown King here on the couch eating.
And Edie's here.
And Edie's here.
It's a big
He's
family.
not
yeah.
really here, though. It's imaginary Edie right
in
now.
spirit.
Yes.
He went to get beer
And smokes.
and smokes.
Yeah, that's what he said. Smokes.
Party.
And beer.
Yeah.
Beer and
Officially a
smoke.
party.
Beer and smoke.
It's very
So-
Canadian, actually. We're only missing
Uh,
bacon.
Yeah.
Totally. Maple syrup.
And maybe his Canadian tuxedo.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
In the Scarborough briefcase.
Yep.
So we got a couple of tweets here. One of them is from my girlfriend, Sandra Oldenburger,
Cool.
which you know.
Oh,
And
I do.
she says, I remember when Morgan dropped off Swiss chocolates at my shop for me because I missed home. You're the best, Morgan.
Aw.
That was sweet.
Sandra used to cut my hair.
I know, she told me.
Does she still work at Hair Torah?
She does.
Cool.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's laughing now that I said that.
Yeah.
Probably.
In his white pants and his singing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever,
David. I
you've
know
ever
of
met,
him.
met her boss before?
No, I've
Oh,
not.
He's
God.
weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm just
Tong?
going to
David
cut
Tong?
all your hair off.
Yeah, I don't know
And his wife
last
is
name
T. Tong.
He's. Oh, is he married to her?
I think so.
He married Tia.
Really?
The both weird voices.
Yeah.
I think
Combined, they're gonna make
Could you-
the weirdest voiced
Could you imagine
child
them having
ever.
a conversation?
so. Would they sound like Yoko Ono?
Yeah, probably. It'd be pretty weird.
Another tweet from Derek Lawson, who wants to know, serious question, what TV shows are y'all watching?
Well, Derek is from South Carolina, so I know that.
So y'all, yeah.
y'all. Girl, I be watching some Mad Men.
Heck yeah. Well, I caught up on all of Dexter, so I'm just waiting for that to start.
Game of
Same-
Thrones, Morgan.
I actually don't watch Game of
You
Thrones.
should, because
Um,
everybody's hot in that show.
That's what I hear.
Except the old dudes.
Yeah, except for the old dudes.
Yeah.
I might even still bang some of the old dudes. 'Cause, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have like TV anymore, so I just watch a lot of Netflix. Arrested Development and Futurama is what I've been watching a lot of lately.
You ever watch Eastbound and Down?
No.
I'm
Gotta watch
a
that show.
big HBO nerd, so
Oh, yeah, well,
like,
there you go. It's HBO.
yeah.
It's not
one of-
HBO. It's just regular ass TV.
Dave Chappelle never gets old.
I know.
I don't care what anybody says.
Gary, did you have a comment?
I like bears. No, I had a
like
comment, but then I
turtles.
lost it. Because as soon as you said you didn't have TV,
Yeah.
because you said Dexter, I was going to ask you if you watched The Following, which is a really messed up show with
No.
Kevin
I
Bacon.
heard about that.
With Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon,
No,
the 6
really?
degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Oh
Don't you
my.
get to see his penis in one of his in that Wild Things
Wild
movie?
Things? Yeah.
Is it a
I remember that was a
Whoa,
big
don't know.
thrill when we were teenagers.
I
Is
don't
it a
know.
wreck though?
Penis?
I
Yeah.
don't.
Kevin
You're
Bacon's
looking at me
penis
like
in
I know
Wild
this.
Things.
All I said was, "Hey, are you watching The Following?" Not, "I've checked out Kevin Bacon's penis in the Wild Things."
See, that's where things turn, though. That's
It's true.
That's,
That's the
we're
6
here,
degrees
and
of
now we're
Kevin Bacon's
6
penis.
degrees of his penis. Yeah.
But I like-
I'm gonna go watch that movie now because
Well-
I want to see his dick.
We'll expect a tweet.
Yes.
How big is Kevin Bacon's penis? Tweet
It's
us, please.
6 inches. 6
$5
degrees.
foot long.
Yeah. Anyone
6
who's
inches
seen
of
Wild
Kevin
$13 foot long.
If you'd like to comment or ask the ladies a question here, because we're pretty lowbrow today. So
Yeah.
You can hit us on the Ustream or the
I'm pretty sure-
Twitter.
We're always lowbrow.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
sorry. I'm sorry. We were supposed to be all serious.
No,
musicians
not at
here,
all,
and
not
all
at
we're
all.
doing is
No,
talk
it's
about
all
Kevin
good.
Bacon's dick.
You know, and on top of that too, we don't take ourselves seriously, so why should anybody else?
No.
that's fair.
No,
You
and
know?
I think
fair.
that's good. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess our parents raised us right, and I don't know. We just never really took anything that we did all that seriously. I think a lot of people in our position, probably may have turned out slightly different. You know, egotistical and.
I think people in
Big
our
heads.
position turned out different than we did.
Yeah, totally. I don't know.
Do you think it's more just from because you guys are from like kind of like a small town kind of thing, like where
Well, no, because
when you come back and
maybe.
everybody still shits on you?
Morgan
and stuff?
Morgan and
Yeah.
Morgan and I grew up in Toronto, so that's
Okay.
it's not
Yeah.
really,
No,
you
okay.
know. But I don't know. I just think our parents raised us to, you know, be down to earth, good people, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, to give homeless people change on the street and kick them afterwards.
And then ask for change back.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I gave you 50 cents worth
I don't
of
have
49.
50 cents back. Here, I got change for $1. No, our parents raised us right. And
Yeah, it's always sort of been a family-oriented thing too. Like my dad and mom were involved in like the managerial side of things.
Okay, yeah.
For a large portion of our career before my dad passed away in 2008. So, yeah, it was like a family atmosphere. Things were.
And you know, I wouldn't have
Different.
trusted anybody else because you know we at one point were, you know, in the late '90s looking for management because my dad didn't want to do that. He didn't want the responsibility, and you know, everybody that you know we talked to about managing the band were crazy. They wanted to do crazy things. They wanted to, get us songwriters
Yeah.
and try and market us like as,
They
Britney
basically just wanted to
Spears.
change it. And I don't know. I think as Mercedes was saying, talking about like how we were at Canadian Music Week, we were brats. We knew what we were doing though. Everything was very precise. In the way that we presented ourselves and everything, and we didn't want to change that. We knew that what we were doing had magic to it, and it was going to get us somewhere. And a lot of people were like, they didn't really see that, I guess.
And to be honest with you, like, I wouldn't have asked for a better person to protect us from our record label.
Yeah, there
Honestly.
was quite a bit of hostility in the early years of us with us and Artemis Records, who are now defunct, so we can talk freely about them. I mean, for a time it was really cool because we were involved in a label whose head was Danny Goldberg, who managed Nirvana. So he had a lot of money and a lot of clout in the industry. But I don't know. I guess just as things kind of started to go downhill with the industry, with like downloading and all kinds of crazy stuff. There wasn't a lot of money, and I think a lot of those guys, at this label were still living like they were in the 90s. Large
70s, 80s.
salaries, spending their monies on expensive shoes and
To getting
putting
their,
recoupable money.
getting their lawns landscaped and then putting it on a recoupable.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there was actually, we ended up having to do an audit on the label, and there was a considerable amount of things.
Fraudulent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Fucked
Yeah.
up.
And on top of that, too, I mean, we had a lot of.
Just do it, man.
Just
do it.
Do it like a
Thank you.
Band-Aid, man. Just rip it out.
We had a lot of, they for some reason,
Oh, thank you.
they wanted to control us. And
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I was, I'm going to do this then. And we weren't in the position to, be controlled because
Yeah.
we had somebody looking out for our best interest.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was, honestly, it was a really, really exciting time, but it was also a very scary time. As Mercedes was saying, like they did want to control us. They wanted to get our parents away from us, basically.
And
they sent a handler out on tour, and
Our bus driver, actually, the handler that they sent out on tour, our bus driver, the handler must have gotten drunk one night and spilled the beans to our bus driver that he was sent out by the label to get rid of my parents, which was completely illegal. The label signed a court order that my parents were legal guardians and that they had to be out on the road with us. But still, the label was trying to get rid of us, or rid of them, my parents. And on top of that, there were some allegations. Allegedly, the bus driver said that he was sent to get us hooked on drugs, allegedly,
Yeah.
Wow.
by the label.
Yeah, so
allegedly.
that we could be manipulated a little more easily.
What kind of
Wow.
drugs? Was that?
I don't know.
Was that
It doesn't
declared?
matter, man.
No,
Well,
his next
here,
question is
I'll
going to be,
put it to you this
do
way.
you have any of
Yeah.
those drugs?
I'll put it to you this way. We were dealing with a label with the ex-manager of Nirvana, the ex-manager of Jeff Buckley. Who else?
Well, Dave Laurie worked with Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Okay.
So
Sure.
what's
Gives a
their
little
drug of
insight.
choice?
Gets a little insight.
So,
on that one,
I mean, allegedly
Drowning,
this
shotgun, or hooked on drugs forever.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'll take drowning for $200.
Yeah.
is... So, I mean, we've had... I don't know any other band that's had as a fucked up experience as we have. And I think it's... People don't understand, like how actually hard it was back then for us to try and, keep the unit together, and on top of that, keep our heads from,
Yeah.
Exploding,
out
yeah.
of water.
Yeah, mind you, we're still, high school age.
Yeah,
At that
that's
time.
fucked
And that's
up.
the
Yeah.
tough part.
Think
Yeah.
about
And
all
those are
that
the years,
fucking
yeah.
crazy shit going on,
That's fucking
and then
crazy.
you're fucking 17 years old while it's happening.
Those are the years that you're trying to find yourself,
Yeah.
right? And kind of shaping into the adult that you're going to become. So you guys had spent, your formative years more or less on the road,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
right?
It's
That
a
was-
strange place to grow up.
And a lot of people that age can't handle it. They,
They give into the drugs and shit.
Yeah,
Shit,
a lot of people can't handle it, and I was lucky, and so was Morgan, that we had a great upbringing. I came from a great family, very close family, and that was important. You know what I mean? And that really helped shape me as a person, I guess.
That was always a cool thing for me to see. I mean, obviously, I've known you guys for 15 years. But with everything that was going on and the age that you're at, for you guys to stay so humble every time you came back from tour or anything like that, the life didn't get to you and you didn't form the egos that most people would
it's
have.
weird.
You know?
I think maybe, like, I don't know, maybe we just always kind of felt like outsiders. So our experiences were slightly different, maybe. You know, like, coming from Canada, being the age that we were, being women. You know, we were always out on tour with, like, dudes twice our age. You know, it was always just Kittie, a bunch of teenage girls, and, like,
And then
Pantera. You know what I mean?
Some old dudes.
Yeah. So, I don't know, we were able to enjoy those experiences, but at the same time we were still kind of segregated
Absolutely.
from that. So I guess it kind of kept us together, I guess.
Shall we talk some crazy stuff now?
Sure.
Other than not the label? Which that's
that
pretty.
shit was pretty
That's
fucking crazy.
That,
fucking
I mean,
crazy.
that's
Yeah.
that's
on a
pretty
scale
nuts.
of,
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, that's up there.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
awesome
mean,
because
fucked up.
for people who aren't in that situation to hear that, it's even more fucked up.
That's
right?
something
Like,
that we've never divulged up until this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, actually,
Wow.
you guys are getting the scoop.
No, that's
That's amazing.
We have
I mean,
to use
and that's
Yeah.
crazy from the business side of things.
And
right?
that's just one instance.
Yeah.
There's a million other like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
And it, you know, perhaps I'm a bit naive, but are these types of things common practice?
No, not
Not as bad as that.
not as bad as that. No, they're not commonplace. I don't know any other band that has been through the things that we've been through. I don't know
The
of anybody.
circumstances may be a bit, you know,
Yeah.
unique in your situation, with your parents having been so closely involved in your, well,
mean,
because of your age, right?
If
Yeah.
they hadn't have been, I don't know where we would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I'd probably be dead.
Yeah, because it's an impressionable age for anybody,
Oh, yeah,
of
male
course.
or female.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
here's
whisk,
your
whisked
peer-
away really easily.
So you're 17, here's your per diem and gram of coke.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Have
we
a good
did
day.
we
Your
did
per
kind
diem of
of
money and your
See
per
you-
diem of coke.
Yeah.
See you
Here
tonight.
you go.
we did come kind of into things at the tail end of, like, the good old days of the music industry too. So I think, like, a lot of executives and things like that kind of had those ideals. still.
70s and 80s mentalities.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
When you think
Because
about
I
it.
don't think that people operate or labels operate like that anymore. Really. I don't.
I don't think they can afford to because the way
Well,
the
yeah,
state of the music
totally.
industry, if
Well,
they were to do that,
I'll put it
could-
to you this way. They still haven't changed their pay scale.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody's cut back their pay scale. They're still all getting paid the same.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's the artist that takes, because they wouldn't change with the times. And that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
labels wouldn't change with the times.
And now a lot of them have folded.
Yeah.
because of that. I mean,
Tons.
I had the
downsized
privilege
to the
/
point.
disprivilege of having to, sign Baptized to Roadrunner and dealing with them and
And Dave Mustaine.
Dave Mustaine.
Oh,
And that was the worst time of my life.
This is my prescription.
Yeah.
Band doesn't do meet and greets.
Dave
Wow.
Mustaine. Do you guys watch Gear Rundown? You ever see that? Where they come out, it's a girl that comes down, they have a camera crew, and they talk to artists, and they do a rundown of your gear.
Okay.
You know, so what you
Yeah.
have in your rack, and most of them that you watch
That was funny. Sorry.
in your rack,
What you have in your rack.
yeah,
What do
Yeah.
you have in your
Yeah.
back?
your guitar rack. So most of them are great. Like you watch it with Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, just an example. He knows every piece because he had it all customed, and he's very close to it. And then Dave Mustaine, they had him on and trying to run rundown, and he doesn't even know what he's got. Right? He's like, yeah, I think there's this in there, and I think this is in there. But when you're a guitar god like me, you don't worry about that kind of stuff. You have people that
Wow.
do that for
He probably
you.
also
Really?
mentioned that
Yeah.
his most favorite guitar is Jesus Christ. So
Shout out to
I
JC.
kind of want to tell that prescription story.
It's not, well, I mean, yeah.
Tell us
probably.
afterwards.
Yeah, we'll
Now I want to
we might have to tell, because it involves some
cue it
things.
up like that.
Yeah,
outside.
we'll
fair
tell
enough.
you guys afterwards. Although Morgan actually, ESP wanted to make Morgan a signature series guitar, and when she
yeah.
decided she didn't like it, they gave it to Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So the Dave Mustaine model
Is your throwaway.
is the model that I was, like, presented with. I have two like working models at home still. Like, that I just, yeah. I don't know. They have my name on them. They're exactly the same guitar, pretty much. Like,
she
they're
didn't
really
want it,
pointy
so I guess
V.
it's good enough for you, Dave.
Yep.
This is good enough for a guitar god. Here you go.
Yep,
That's
yep.
hilarious.
Wow.
Don't tell
Can I ask what
Dave.
you didn't like about it?
Sorry, Dave.
Just
I don't know. I just
like look-wise or playability-wise?
probably playability-wise.
Yeah.
It's a little big.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to one of your songs here. And you
Sure.
know what? If we go a little bit late, that's cool.
Okay,
'cause
yeah, we can do
got
that,
a lot of
that's
story
fine.
to tell, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I've got a track here from I Failed You.
Yes.
I've got a few of them, actually. This
Cool.
one's called What Have I Done?
Oh, what's his titties? Your co-op guy
Yeah.
did a bad job.
Did he get the wrong one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, should I get a different one?
Yeah.
Alex, you're fired!
I like he did a bad job.
Color in the thermometer.
Um,
You
What
can't
about Whisper
find
of
good
Death?
free labor.
From I Failed You, can you play We Are the Lamb? Is that on there?
Yeah, is that what you told him?
Yeah.
Alex,
Song 1 and 2.
you're fired.
Song 1 and 2.
I'm kidding,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. All
You're
right.
in a failing grade for your school.
Yeah. You just got a D, buddy.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell me a crazy road story that sticks out in your mind, maybe, an experience that you had with a rock star while I tee this up.
How about touring with ICP?
Oh my god.
Oh, and
I know, how could we not have been talking about...
Kings and Coolio?
Yeah. How could we not have talked
How
about...
have you? It
what the
just comes to my head like, how have we not heard
Okay.
this?
Yeah, have we
Go.
not talked about this at all? Okay, so at the time we had a couple of managers who, I guess, I don't know, they were trying to look for different things for us to do, like different like fan, get a different fan base basically. And they were like, well, what about ICP? And I was vehemently against it for so long. I was like, they're just going to tear us apart. Finally, everyone was like, it'll be a good experience, so we went on tour with fucking ICP. So
We were playing to like huge venues.
yeah,
of course.
they play to an insane amount of people.
I
Like, I don't know
get
if any of you guys have heard of the Rave in Milwaukee. It's like a multi-tiered venue. It's across the street from where Jeffrey Dahmer ate a bunch of people.
Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, so
favorite.
like usually we play like this. There's like a small room or like kind of a mid-sized room. They were playing the ballroom upstairs. It was like 5,000 people.
Funny story about that
Huge.
venue, actually, though, is when Hitler was going to invade the U.S., part of his plan was obviously to come over to the U.S. That was going to be Nazi headquarters.
He's gonna open
The
that
rave
Really?
in Milwaukee was supposed to be his headquarters because
Really?
it's an old community center. It's really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Did you guys do the gathering with him?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did the gathering.
Oh my god!
I know.
Are you fucking
Yeah,
serious?
I'm totally serious.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it was pretty weird. It was a freak show. We actually, our set, we went on at 4 a.m. I'm not even
And
kidding.
it was packed.
And there was like 1,200 people in the tent.
Wow.
Yeah. We played at 4 a.m. Before us, Bobby Brown.
Who, by the way, kicked ass,
Yeah.
and
Bobby Brown opened up for us.
No way.
At 3 o'clock in
the
the morning.
gathering.
At the gathering.
That's insane.
Oh, and I've got a good Bobby Brown story. I almost got beat up by his entourage.
I thought you were
The drummer, was using the band that was headlining that morning, I guess, was using the headlining band's drum kit. And so Bobby Brown's drummer, the tom starts to fall. And I'm like, well, is anybody going to fix that? And I'm just like kind of looking around and nobody's noticing. And I'm like, I should probably go fix that. So I go up there to go fix it. I run up there and unplug Bobby Brown's guitar player. And literally, on my way back, I was just like, I just did that. I run back and I plug it back in. He turns around and looks at me and he's like, you're fucking dead, basically. And I'm like, oh shit. So like I go and I'm like, fuck this. I'm running. Like I'm going to have Bobby Brown's entourage, burn me with crack pipes or something. Allegedly.
Wow.
And I was just like,
That
I'm
escalated
fucking out of here. So like I ran and hid on the bus and then it was time for us to play and I was just like, oh my God, this motherfucker. And he's leaving. He's like, don't ever do that again. That's all he said to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was just trying to fix your drummer
You're
shit,
like,
man.
sorry, man. I'll probably never see you again.
Yes.
I was thinking
don't
maybe he
think
was
you'll
going to
ever
come and try to
open up.
sabotage
Yeah.
your drums or
Probably
something.
never play with So
you know what the gathering is, though, right,
Yeah.
Jimmy?
No.
It's like it's Insane Clown Posse's festival that they have every year, and like literally, it's like
insane.
the pilgrimage of Mecca for juggalos.
Yeah.
Before we talk about it more, there is an hour-long commercial
Yeah.
made up every year where the last one was Vanilla Ice
Yep.
dressed up like a alien overlord. and,
That
like-
was the one for,
that the one?
for our
Yeah.
year, yeah.
And it's this hour-long. I've only seen them on YouTube before, but they go over like the events for the week and all the bands playing, and it's
And
just,
how fresh it's gonna be.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then like
Fresh to death.
so you get all these juggalos together and they all get pissed drunk or whatever. But I've heard stories of like people there putting other people in cages and
Oh, there's
chucking
it's
stones at them if
insane.
you
Well,
screw
Keelan
around with
Keelan
the
getting
Brotherhood and
bottled,
whatever
like-
else.
That's
like,
called Juggalo
motherfucker.
Court.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There's a name for it.
okay, so
So-
apparently if you break one of the Juggalo rules
Why are
or
you
whatever, and if you're bad at the gathering of the Juggalos, because there's no police allowed on the premises because it's private property.
And they're
They have
scared.
something called Juggalo Court where they have these cages, and if you've been naughty, you have a court proceeding, which I'm guessing is probably not very official. And then if you're
not
found
at all.
guilty, you have to hang out in the Juggalo Court cage, like a bird.
Chuck stones and like bottles of piss
Yeah.
and stuff at you.
Literally, there was so many drugs. I think only 2 people died that weekend.
Oh, only.
Yeah.
Somebody the day after, I think, didn't they find somebody?
They found somebody like face down in, what is it called? Oh, what is it? Something like...
Oh, it's called like scabies or heroin or something like.
yeah.
I think it's called AIDS Lake or one of those.
Yeah.
When I found out you guys doing that tour, I was terrified for you.
Yeah.
Just because the crowd scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
How did the crowd take you guys?
Actually,
We
pretty
do very
good.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With juggalos, they do awesome.
Yeah, they didn't buy a lot
Just
of
drink a
merch
bottle
or
of Faygo,
whatever.
you're good to go.
We were selling a good chunk of. We were selling CDs.
Yeah, they didn't buy a lot of merch because usually they are spending all of their hard-earned money on
Yeah.
ICP stuff. Like literally, I think Jason Sears, who is their one merch guy, they had said that they had 250 pieces of merch,
Items.
250 different
Yes.
items
Holy
at their
shit.
merch, and literally they were pulling in like fucking 40 grand a night.
Oh, yeah.
Like just obscene. These guys were rolling around with like diamond hatchet men, just like blinged out and shit. Crazy.
All I gotta say is that fucking song "Miracles" makes me laugh.
I know.
Every fucking time I hear it or see that video. It's
Fucking
insane.
magnets.
Yeah, that's exactly the line. How do they work? Amazing.
Because of that tour, I can now shoot a 2-liter pop bottle off my finger 50 feet in the air.
Yep.
I'll show you one day.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Amazing the
it
things that
was
you learn
it
on
was a
tour.
fun time. You know, it was like being part of the circus. We were totally different. Like all these other bands were like loading in and like like Necro, like his like dude would be like plugging in the iPod, load in complete.
Yeah.
And here we are like pushing shit up the fucking ramps and stuff. But it was a good time. It was fun. We learned something. Oh, and Coolio he is the scum of the earth.
Good.
Oh my god.
He's a
Continue.
sexually
Continue.
depraved man.
Yeah,
Is he?
he was. Like when we pulled in the first gig, we were like, "Man, I can't wait to meet Coolio. This is like, so exciting!" Gangster's Paradise, woo! And then he turned out to be like a womanizing, like foul human being. He licked Ivy, our bass player's face.
He attacked
Like-
me, like physically, like ground his cock onto my leg and asked me if it was time, and I told him, "It will never be time, Coolio."
He does porno stuff. Like he's not in porno, but he's like the host of like this porno stuff. Like
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, like that doesn't surprise me. Man.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, he was just a little bit of a. It was like he was a 15-year-old boy trapped in a 40-something-year-old man's body.
Just put out a real rapey vibe.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
pretty
I
rapey.
I feel like
Yeah.
you walk up behind you and be all, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor.
Yeah, he was just a little too much to handle for
Was
us,
he fucking fucked up? Was he like high? and shit?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, he just kind of made us feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's actually a really funny video. I need to get Tara to get it off from her camera, but we had to share a dressing room with him and all his people one night.
I steered clear.
And it was like after the show, and I'm just sitting there, and like he does a freestyle rap to me, and he's like sitting on the chair beside me, and he's like humping the air, and he's like, "If I was your boyfriend, blah 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 blah," and, like it was terrifying, and he's like looking at me like humping the chair.
I'm getting
I'm
uncomfortable
laughing?
just being right here.
But at the same time, I was like, I'm laughing because I'm horrified.
What? My question is, what woman is like, oh man, that's hot?
Yeah.
I want to get on
Not
that.
me.
Everyone
Get on
that was
that.
at the gathering.
To the gathering.
Oh man.
My whole thing is
Juggalo
like,
cool.
how is it that humping the chair makes any woman go, so if I was your boyfriend, you're going to hump the chair?
Yeah, right?
Let's
Are you
figure
talking
it-
to me or the chair?
Pretty sure if my boyfriend humped the chair, I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Usher.
It was a good experience, though.
All right, well, let's. You want to play a song now?
Sure.
So what track? I have them all here.
Okay,
So what
so
are we
Can you play two?
Yeah, I'm gonna do two in a row.
Why don't you do I Failed You into We Are the Lamb?
yeah, it's the first two songs.
First two songs on the record. Sound good?
Yeah.
They're probably not in order though, right, Alex?
No, they're not. So
Oh,
I
gosh.
failed you into.
We Are the Lamb.
There we go. We're ready now. We got this ready.
Thanks.
We got this podcast under control. It's
Yeah.
all good.
This
Alex,
is not amateur hour.
to clarify, so Alex, our intern co-op, who's in the other room right now, I had him program the show for us tonight. He's been doing that for the last couple of weeks and doing a great job, except for tonight.
Yep. Alex.
So
Come on in.
you hear him? I'm sorry. So we'll have a conversation about this later. No, I'm just kidding. He does a great job. So,
We're going to put him up in
but
the
you
cage.
ladies give him a
We'll
hard
have
time. Make him feel
conversation
uncomfortable.
later.
Juggalo Court.
Where's the gate?
Bust out the cage.
All right, so we're gonna do a two-shot here of Kittie. We've got "I Failed You" and "We Are the Lamb" on the London Indie Underground.
Good.
You're tuned in to London Indie Underground. That was so-and-so with whatever it was. We need to get some girls in here, Jesus Christ.
Can't you see that?
double
Yeah.
shot of Kittie. I Failed You, and which was from last album.
I Failed You, produced by Siegfried Meyer.
Siggy Meyer, who I know is listening right now out in Goderich.
Hi, Siggy. Hi, I'm coming to your steak and dough.
I'm going to that too.
Cool party!
Cool, you want a carpool?
I'd love to.
Sweet.
You're really excited about the carpool there for a second.
Yeah.
Shit.
Do we have
He has not responded yet.
no?
No.
Any other comments for the ladies?
No, just the ones I was just saying.
Cool.
Well, yeah, but we were
Oh.
offline, so.
Sorry.
And that Ben ate all the cookies at home. I'm really sad.
How was this show the other day?
Oh, it was really good. They played with the Alcoholics, and then they did that Captain Bring Down CD release show
At
as
the
well.
Vic.
At the Vic, which I had never been to before.
I worked
That
there.
place is charming.
I worked there for 3 shifts and had to fight everybody, or had to fight somebody each shift, so I quit.
What's the bit?
Like
The
physically
old
fight somebody?
Victoria Tavern.
Yeah.
Physically, and I've never had to be physical with anybody before.
Over what?
Being drunk and stupid.
On your part?
I
or on
actually
theirs?
had to wrestle a beer out of an off-duty cop, out of his hand.
Nice.
That was fun.
Yeah. It's an interesting place. The clientele. I don't know. Like I thought the show was a lot of fun. Like there was a good turnout and stuff. But like there was like some of the like regulars that were there. Like there was one guy who was like, he had no teeth and he had a beard and he was so in love with Steve, who plays guitar for Halfway to Barstow, and he was just like trying to kiss him during the set. And then when everybody else, like when the set was done and everybody's out having a cigarette, the guy got on a riding lawnmower and drove off.
Into the sunset.
Not even kidding. He got on a riding lawnmower and left the bar.
Yeah, I got a text message the next day that
Yeah.
basically just described what she just said, and I was in shock.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yep. I've never been to the Vic before, but it was a fun time. It was good.
Well, and it sounds like there's been a memory made.
Yep.
See where my parents are from. They live in a rural area, and there are some individuals that have had their license taken away for drunk driving.
But they
So-
ride lawnmowers?
So they drive riding lawnmowers around town.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because I guess that's the loophole, right?
Totally. Yeah. You can't get charged for drunk driving on.
You can get charged for drunk driving on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't that guy in London like last year get charged for drunk driving for motorizing his picnic table?
Yeah, he did too, didn't
Yeah.
he? That
I
made
remember.
national news too.
Yeah, there's a guy in London who put wheels and a motor on a picnic table and started driving it around drunk in his neighborhood and in a park apparently, and he got caught and got charged.
Pretty exciting.
And that was from
Amazing.
London,
Yeah,
putting us on the map. Woo!
So now has he gone into like full scale production of these motorized?
I don't know. I think that would probably be a
Yeah.
pretty, I don't know,
Beautiful.
lucrative
Between
thing.
that guy and the St. Patrick's Day riots were
Yeah.
like the most popular place in the world
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
degenerates.
The traveling family picnic.
Yeah.
Just sit down at the bench, get your hot dogs and everything out, and just go for a drive.
Yeah, totally. You want to go for a drive,
Have a
kids?
picnic wherever you want to.
Yay!
Grandma, let's go pick up Grandma for a picnic.
Yeah, why not?
Everybody hop on the picnic table.
That's
Shit.
amazing. My name is Jimmy James. We're broadcasting live from the Vault Recording Studio here at Adelaide and Princess in London, Ontario. Tune into the London Indie Underground, London's only independent music podcast, showcasing some of our area's most talented artists, bands, and personalities. Joined today by the ladies of Kittie. So we were talking before the break about some crazy stories, and you shared a few. We're curious to hear some more. So what do you got?
I don't know. You gotta have to like, I don't know. But yeah, it's hard to think about them. Like
Okay, so
you have to be
you saw
tipped
some
off.
crazy shit, Tommy Lee, whatever. What other crazy shit have you seen? Like, not necessarily been a part of or has happened to you. Like, you've toured all over.
I've
You've
got
done-
a great story. Normally in New Mexico, you don't even know what I'm gonna talk
No,
about,
I'm-
but you'll know. You
Yeah.
remember this. Okay, so in New Mexico, we play this place called the Sunshine Theater in Albuquerque.
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. So anyway, one time we were on the bus. So at that one particular moment in time, there were quite a few homeless people around that neighborhood. It's actually cleaned up quite a bit since in the last couple of years. I haven't seen a homeless.
But there's a
person
reason
there.
that Breaking Bad is
in New
Albuquerque.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, is it in Arizona?
Nope.
Oh, it's in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Albuquerque.
so I was looking out the window of the bus one day, and I saw this homeless woman eating a sandwich. And you know the garbage cans that have like the little lip on them, and then it's just a square, and you put your garbage in the square, and it goes in the garbage can
Right.
holder thing. So anyway, this woman is eating a sandwich, gets on top of the garbage can, and starts, I don't know if she was pissing or shitting, but in the garbage can. So she starts, let's say it was pee, number one. So she was peeing into this garbage can, like sitting on it like it was a toilet. And then she finishes peeing, pulls her underwear up and gets off, and then kind of looks for a second, and then takes her underwear back off, finishes the last bite of her sandwich, and then wipes her mouth with her hands.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cray. That is cray.
That's what we asked for, and
Yep.
that's what we
Crack
got.
is whack.
I feel like it would have to be a number 2 though to get the thing to open.
Isn't it already just open?
He's
Isn't it just a hole?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
I thought it
analyzing
was
the
the ones with
mechanics
the
of
flap.
Yeah.
the
No, no.
garbage can.
Like you
here.
need the
No, she had
Like
like
a weight of number 2
Yeah.
to open the flap. Oh,
God
terrible.
forbid anybody see her with mustard on her face.
Yeah.
So,
Any good like band stories?
Well, I'm thinking, what are some of the coolest people that you were privileged to hang out with when you were
That
on the road?
woman who watched.
She sounds like that's just a
Yeah.
party.
I went out and got her autograph.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most of the really like cool like celebrity types were kind of like happened in like the first year or so of our band existence, like of our, I guess, when we actually were on the scene, kind of starting to get really popular. Like Ozfest was just like insane for that. Like Pantera, we got to know them. Mercedes did a lot of drinking with Pantera. She has good stories about that.
I always have good stories. Yeah.
I remember Poison when they came to
Oh,
Ozfest.
no.
And Ricky Rocket
Oh, yes.
blew in Mercedes' ear and was like, "Stay sweet."
I actually about, I guess it would have been about 9 years ago, I got hit on by Jared Leto. It was when 30 Seconds, and it was funny too because we were playing main stage and 30 Seconds to Mars was playing the small stage, and they must have gone on late, and so we went on our time, our regular time, and they were still playing. We just crushed them, basically. Like their stage was across from us, and we just like literally just pummeled them. They had to stop because we were just so crushing. So anyway, after the show, we just we started hanging out, and I start talking to the drummer from the band at the time, who I think was Jared Leto's brother. And this guy comes up to me, and he's like really like, in real life, he's like creepy thin man. Like he's really skinny.
Jared Leto?
Yeah,
like he was in Requiem for a Dream.
yeah, and he like walks up to me and he's like, "Oh, you guys had a really good set." And I was like, "Thanks." And he was like, I just wanted to tell you that you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen." And I was like, "All right." And I turned around and I kept talking to his brother. And then I realized later that he got his arm chopped off in that movie.
Because he really likes heroin.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any Ricky Rocket hit on me once.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about when we were in Europe at that festival and Jeff Hanneman smelled your fart?
Oh yeah, Jeff Hanneman loves farts. Jeff Hanneman from Slayer. Yeah.
That was the first tour that Johnny did with us.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
John Araya is our old guitar tech, and he knew Jeff obviously for relation reasons. He's Tom Araya's brother, but he was our guitar tech for years, and somehow Jeff Hanneman ended up on the bus, and I had yet to be diagnosed with ulcers. And so I was having a really rough day. My stomach was really hurting, and Jeff Hanneman's on the bus, and we're talking and stuff like that. I was like, I gotta fart, man. So I farted, and Jeff Hanneman's leans over and is just he starts wafting in my fart,
cupping it and
I'm
smelling
like,
it.
I was like, Jesus, Jeff, what are you doing? He's like, oh, that wasn't as burly as I thought it was gonna be. Anyway, yeah. So we just spent the entire afternoon farting on the bus.
Yep.
Did he diagnose them?
Yeah.
Peanuts with a hint of
Just channeling BioNo and just going.
Ketchup and
So we
onions.
just farted on the bus all day. It was great. I really like that guy. He's my favorite dude in Slayer.
The experiences you
Yeah.
share on the road.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
know.
how he ended up on the bus. Usually, like, all of our stories involve me either, like, being drunk or shitting.
Oh,
or...
I remember when there was a story. No, it wasn't Hellfest.
Yes, it was
Was it
Hellfest.
Hellfest?
Yeah.
When you shit in a bag? Okay, Mercedes had to shit so bad that she...
I refuse to use porta potties.
So she didn't want to use the porta potty, and this was the Hellfest where Lamb of God was headlining, and we were there. So we're on the bus, everybody's kind of hanging out. The guys from Lamb of God were on there too. Mercedes goes, takes a shit in a bag, hot bags it, as they call it on the road. And Randy was so fucking grossed out that he was like, I can't be in here anymore. Like,
Was
It's
it
like
in
gay.
the bus? You did it in
Yeah.
the bus where everyone was there?
Well, where else am I don't like porta potties, man. I don't want to, like...
She didn't shit in front of people, but like there's a
Well, that's
bathroom
what I meant.
on the bus.
Oh, okay, all right, the bathroom.
But
okay.
so you like put the bag.
You
put the
Sorry,
bag
I'm
in.
gonna shit. I'm just gonna take my pants off right here.
Yeah. No, we have at least some dignity left.
Yeah.
Wait,
One time,
Wait, you shit in the bathroom,
Yeah.
but could you not shit in the bathroom?
Not in the
Can't
toilet.
shit. No.
No.
There's
No.
a no poop rule
Yeah.
on the tour bus.
Unless you have a grinder, it's not a good idea.
And that just sounds wrong. So
Wow.
who wants that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although when we used to tour in an RV, and I definitely puked and shit in that RV. Puked off
I
of
know.
Zima.
Yeah.
Ew.
Zima, that was our drink of choice when we, first started playing in the United States. When we were like 16 years old, it was like, mom and dad would buy us a 6-pack of Zima, and we'd like get drunk off of Zima, and yeah, that was our.
And eat beef jerky.
Yeah.
We were like obsessed with it because you could go to those outlets in America, and one time I ate 2 pounds of it and drank like 6 Zimas and puked my guts out.
Oh,
Sounds like a party.
yeah.
The
That's how
fuck?
we
And
roll.
just
back
so
in the
you
day.
know,
Amazing,
That's-
I can't eat beef jerky anymore because of it, because I don't know if you know this or not, but if you eat beef jerky and then you throw it back up, it reconstitutes in your stomach. And so it was like I was barfing up raw pieces of steak.
What?
It's just dried meat.
No, but I know, but I
This is
didn't
amazing.
think that was what.
It
Revelations.
reconstitutes in your stomach. So I was barfing up like full like
chunks?
slabs of meat, like steak.
Saving it for later.
And it was the grossest thing. So I can't eat beef
Oh,
jerky anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
That- that is-
I'm really gross. I think I just discovered that. Like, why do people like me?
You have the most beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
You have the nicest smelling farts.
And we've got a tweet from Jared Leto saying he didn't know that about the steak part, and he's still impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell him that.
No.
I'm glad my
No.
boyfriend's not listening because he would think I'm a disgusting pig.
He's
sorry.
like,
Well,
"We
this
can
is
do-
going to be
we can do
archived
a
later,
few
so.
things."
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's in New Orleans right now, so he's not listening. He's probably in a mall eating Chili's or something.
Well, worst.
Some gross American
tour
food.
food.
Should we get to another song, ladies?
Sure.
What do you think? I want
Um,
to. First off, I need to apologize to our listeners here. So I have iTunes and the new iTunes, and I hate it.
Oh.
I hate it so
I haven't
much.
Hate
updated
it.
yet
Still
because
have
I've
the old
heard
one,
it's
I'm
terrible.
So
I
there,
refuse to update it.
Yeah,
I
I've heard
cannot
it's
figure
terrible,
out a
so
way
don't
now.
worry.
Maybe somebody knows, and I'm naive. I'm a recording engineer, but I can't figure out this piece of software here so that it will stop after a song is done
I
playing.
can do that for you.
Can you?
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah.
New iTunes sucks. Change it back.
Yeah, well,
Apple.
There is a
Yeah.
way you can do it.
Apple.
You can download the old as well for.
No, there's a way. Whatever. That's talk after, but you can
Yeah,
revert
yeah.
back to old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can help you out with that.
Okay, that'd be great. Because, yeah, so here we are talking, and boom, the music starts playing again. I'm like, what the hell, man? I thought I stopped it.
Damn it.
All right, so what are we going to play now?
Well, let's probably play something from the first album that we worked with Siggy on, which is In the Black.
Yeah?
What do you got?
I got it all.
You got it all?
I got it all.
What should we play?
Cool.
Maybe Forgive and Forget.
We can do that.
That's number 6. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's number 6 on there because What's His Titties did a weird thing, but
Poor Alex.
aw.
She's getting hammered over there.
Poor what's his cock?
Just tell him to eat some jerky.
Aw.
Eat some turkey?
Jerky.
Oh, beef jerky. No thanks.
No, tell him. Okay, well, let's check this out. So, Forgive and Forget?
Yes.
All right, this is Kittie on the London Indie Underground.
Fun.
It's no enough to
Kittie with Forgive and Forget here on the London Indie Underground. Heavy number, ladies.
Thanks.
I dig it. I was asking you on the break there while we were listening to that track who was doing the low stuff. So you do some of the vocals in the studio too,
Yeah.
right? Very cool.
Because I got man voice.
Ooh.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I always, for years and years, and anytime I heard like any of that, the screaming, I always thought it was just somebody just boiling nails in their throat, you know what I mean? And just giving her. But really, it was, you know, it's actually pretty quiet when you hear it like up close, like some of the high screaming stuff that people do. It's like very controlled, right? So,
Yeah, it is, for sure.
okay, so a bit of news. So you've ventured into an online contest to be part of something pretty cool here in Canada.
Yes. Joel Fenley from Baptized in Blood and I actually applied for the Canadian version of Storage Wars. So a couple weeks ago we applied for Storage Wars Canada, and it's down to, you know, a few of us, and Joel and I are one of the picks. We were supposed to find out today, but apparently we're not finding out until Monday now, whether we got on. So we need everybody to help vote, I guess, for Joel and I. And if you go to your Facebook page and you type in Storage Wars Canada and then you click on it, there's a picture that you click on, and you just vote Joel and Mercedes, and that should help, you know, secure our position as the next storage locker bidder motherfuckers.
So what's your take, like, from the original crew? What's your angle going to be? Are you going to be the
I'm
moguls?
not-
Or are you going to be the young bloods?
I'm not an old, ugly man, and I'm not, you know, I don't know. I kind of found that the American version, everybody looked kind of trashy. So I'm going to try my best to dress nice and make sure that I
Class it up a bit.
I like
class it up a
Barry,
little
though. I
bit,
like
yeah.
Barry.
Now, how
Barry's
does that work,
pretty
though?
decent.
So, is it your money that you're buying?
Yes, actually, it is going to be.
'Cause
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
different things.
I don't
from
know what the
that.
American version is going to be like because they're America and whatever. I don't give a shit. But
America.
but the Canadian version, I know. Joel and I are going to be using our own money to get these storage lockers. So, and to be bidding on them, everything from what I understand is real. So, they just bought the rights for the TV show, and however they run it is their prerogative, right?
Oh,
so,
totally.
So, but it should be really interesting, and Joel and I are really excited. We actually went looking around for retail space yesterday. So we're probably going to have a store on Richmond coming up shortly.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
What do you call it?
I can't tell you that. It's top secret information there, Brandon Eady.
It's textual.
Let's both text
No,
him and ask him right
don't
now.
text him.
I'm not saying anything because I want you guys to actually win. I'd love to watch this.
He'll tell you something stupid like,
Oh, I know
hockey shit. Story's gonna be
Or
called
he just texts me back saying, I fucking hate you, so I'm not telling you.
story. It's gonna be called hockey shit.
Hockey and shit.
He loves hockey.
I
so.
know he does.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I don't know.
But he didn't win.
Go
He didn't
Leafs.
win the league, so that's cool.
No, he didn't. Shirk did.
But I definitely didn't either.
No, I can't
I
think.
definitely didn't either.
No. You guys were bad.
You
Bad.
beat me out to get in the finals by like 0.1 winning percentage.
Winning's winning.
Oh, shut your mouth.
You're not first, you're last.
Ricky
Bobby.
Ricky Boopy.
So, a couple of things that I need to address here before we continue on the
Sure.
conversation. First off, I want to thank all the bands that have continued to send in songs to us. We received a number of submissions over the last couple of weeks, and I do want to apologize if we haven't got to your submission yet. I know on an evening like this where we're featuring a band that's a bit heavier in nature, we try to tend to tailor the podcast accordingly. But going forward over the next several weeks, we've got a number of compelling guests lined up. And believe me, we are going to get to your music as well. And if you happen to be in a band and you're from southwestern Ontario and you would like your music featured on the podcast, all we ask you to do is to send us an email to londonindieug@hotmail.com. Attach a couple of MP3s as well as any upcoming shows or vital information with respect to your band, so that we know what you're about. And we have no problem with adding it into the library. And at the same time, we always tell people there's no shame in self-promotion. So if you're listening along and you'd like your music played just send us a quick message. And I get text messages from people that I know that are friends that are listening in, but at the same time, you can send us a tweet or a message through Facebook or even on the Ustream feed, and we'll be happy to address that for you. In addition to, and we've made aware off the top of the program, but Brandon Eady and myself now are hosting a primetime radio show on CHRW 94.9 FM here in London from 3:30 to 6 p.m. every Friday, where we are going to showcase London and Southwestern Ontario music. It is also available for stream online. If you go to our Facebook page, London Indie Underground, you click on About, all the information is under there where to find access to our previous streams, as well as the radio show, because there is a live stream available for people that are out of market. I think our broadcast range is only going to be to Woodstock and maybe to Chatham. It's not as far reaching as some of the other radio stations in the market. But that said, the focus is strictly music from this area, and we're really excited to be able to offer that level of support to our musicians, because in my opinion, our artists in this area deserve to be on primetime radio. So again, thank you for sending some stuff in. I know there's some comments that came through today, and people are looking for insight and perspective, which is, some of the messaging that we try to provide vis-a-vis our guests that we have on today. And I know that, you ended up with some fart jokes and, beef jerky and all the rest of it. But, rock and roll isn't always pretty, right?
Absolutely.
we don't like to take ourselves too seriously, and that's, it's important to us that we have fun with whatever we do.
Yeah.
And we had fun today, and that's all that matters.
Amazing.
Heck yeah.
And
we've had a fun life, It's been an interesting time. The past, I don't know, 16, 17 years now that we have been in the band. There's been, we touched on some, more serious points or whatever, some of the crazy stuff that's gone on, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But through it all, we've managed to remain pretty level-headed and
I would say
been able to enjoy ourselves, and we could probably be here for another couple hours telling stories if you
we'll have to
sort
have
of
you
tipped
back.
our minds off to it. Sometimes it's hard to just pull them out of your mind, but it's midget strippers and all kinds of crazy stuff that's gone on.
So in all seriousness now, you have been, taking some time off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been about a year now, I guess, since you played.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that are curious about the future of Kittie, do you have any plans going forward, or are you just on a bit of a hiatus?
Yeah, it's kind of a strange topic. I mean, it's something that we've all sort of discussed. And by no means is the band broken up or anything, but we definitely are sort of at a point right now where I think we're trying to maybe focus on other things.
Okay.
I think it's mostly just because, we're just really tired and we're burnt out, but also because the industry is not the way that it used to be, and it's getting more and more difficult to tour, especially in the U.S. For us being Canadians, we have to do things like central withholding agreements that cost thousands of dollars even just to get started.
Right.
And then they take your money at the end of the tour, So right now it's just...
the IRS has been giving us and a lot of other Canadian bands problems as of the last couple of years.
Yeah. We had to start doing it in 2010.
And it's started to get really, really serious. If you go into the country without a CWA, you're in big trouble, and they will withhold 30% of all of your earnings. So that's the difference between you paying for your vehicle or putting food in your mouth a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that money gets spent. It's very difficult to tour in the U.S. right now, and it's also very difficult to tour in Europe. Not because of... And visas are getting harder to procure, especially for the U.S. And... you can only tour in Europe for so long. It's not that big of a place, you know what I mean? The U.S. used to be our bread and butter, and America really doesn't want to let in foreign workers right now, and they really don't like the fact that we're coming in, and they really don't want us there. So, and that includes all Canadian bands.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they make you jump through a lot of hoops in hopes that you'll give up and pay a lot of money in order to get over there.
Yeah. So that's why it's been we've not been to the U.S. as much as we'd like to, in recent years. But also part of the reason why we've decided to sort of just chill.
It's understandable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's not to say that, there's not going to be perhaps opportunities down the road that we may be like, okay, well, maybe we'll do this. You know, there's been talk of some shows. There's been talk of, you know, like an original lineup, reunion kind of thing as well, to play the first album. So, I mean, these are things that we all just kind of like discuss and talk about, but nothing's for sure. But there's, you know, and other projects. Obviously, Mercedes is doing the alcohol. She's doing session work. We're involved in another project that we can't really talk a lot about, but it's involving 2 other people from other bands that are well known as well. So we just can't talk about it for like contractual reasons.
Of course.
But yeah, so I mean, we continue to remain, you know, in music and that sort of thing. It's just for right now, it's, I don't know, I think Kittie needs a nap. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, when
Yeah.
you think about it, you guys have toured extensively since you were very young, right? So
Yeah. It's been our lives. It's consumed every bit of our lives, and we haven't really been able to develop, I think, in other areas.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, has it been an adjustment to step away from the music? And I mean, I know you're still active per se, but
Yeah.
not as Kittie and not touring, right? So
Yeah,
having
I mean,
spent so much time touring, was it weird to come back and decompress now and try to, you know,
try to
live-
like kind of be normal?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, like we've always sort of maintained like, you know, some semblance of normal, I guess. Just, you know, and just how we've been raised and how, you know, I don't know, do things. But I mean, it's always weird coming home from like, you know, the like constant party of tour, and then you get home and you're like, you know,
I usually have a good cry.
yeah, your scheduling is like all off, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, what do I do with my time?
I
You know?
usually have a good cry, you know, because I live in a house with a lot of cats, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's just coming home to an empty house and,
Yeah.
and cats.
Yeah, it's a pretty strange adjustment.
Yeah, I
you
can
know.
imagine.
But like I said, you know, we need to also take the time to develop these other areas in our lives. So, you know, like Mercedes is going into real estate just 'cause, you know.
Yeah.
You seem to be venturing into a number of different things.
I'm kind of an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I can
you know.
respect that.
I do a lot of things, you know. I'm a jack of all trades. And I'm a kind of a man when I do it too. No, but I'm just interested in a lot of different things, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I still need to do in this world. You know what I mean? And I'd like to try and do all of them, because I'm the kind of person that if I don't work, I freak out. So, you know, since I was 18 and I've been working when I haven't been on tour. So I used to go and work at CD Plus back in the day.
CD Plus.
Yeah. Remember that?
that
Remember,
doesn't
remember
exist anymore.
CDs? Remember CDs?
That was
everyone?
that was my one job, and then I've been at the London Music Hall for the last year, and before that I was at the Richmond Tavern for 6 years.
Buh.
Yep. So, you know, and
So Mercedes knows every degenerate in London.
I basically, if you have missing teeth, I know you.
You should have worked last night.
No, I don't do that. I don't do smells.
It's only smells.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Richmond smells enough anyway. So, but yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going into real estate. I'm going to be a registered salesperson shortly. And my dream is to buy a 3-story walk up and turn it into Melrose Place for musicians. So
That's very cool.
yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, and then I want to flip houses. That's my main goal. That's because I'm handy, and I got a buddy named Joel who's a framer. That's like the one thing I don't do well is framing. I knew everything else, so
Very
I want to flip houses, and I want to get my contractor's license.
But hopefully that Storage Wars thing works out.
Yeah. And
That
then,
would be very cool.
And then when Joel and I have our retail store, you guys can all come shop at it, and it'll be great.
You can buy weird things like shrunken heads.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I want shrunken heads.
That would be amazing find.
Yeah.
I was a little excited when you said it was hockey and shit, because I was like, I'm there.
No.
But now it's not going to be.
Oh, he would buy if
Yeah.
if there's a locker that's got a hockey
Play
stick.
hockey
he'd buy.
with a shrunken head.
Joe
Man.
would drop all of his money.
There you go.
Well, when you get up and running, we should talk, and because we can advertise for you guys.
That'd be great.
Try to send in some traffic to ya.
I like traffic.
Traffic?
Traffic.
Traffic? Traffic? Sounds like something else.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, before we end this thing off, ladies, is there, any final things you've got some listeners here that have been tuning in from around the world that, like I said, you've been out of the spotlight for a while. Is there any final message you'd like to give them? I think this has been great because they get to see a different side of you that, perhaps they wouldn't have seen otherwise. So
Yeah.
just want to know if there's any parting thoughts.
We
you'd
love
like
you
to-
and we miss you. That was sincere, though.
Yeah, me do.
Might
Yeah.
not sound it, but
Yeah.
I'd like to be on tour right now, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, obviously, like, for everyone, like, thank you. A huge thank you is in order for, like, anyone who's ever bought a CD, who's ever bought a shirt, who
Come
is
to
on our
our
message
show.
board, like, people that we have made friends with and are close to now because of the band, Like, over the years, we've met so many amazing people who we still consider to be close. And
we have people that met at our shows that are now married and have kids, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
Wow.
it's cool to watch those people grow with you, And we've had that the privilege of being able to grow up with our fans, and it's been really cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so
I'm sure
we
they
thank them.
they haven't seen the last of you though.
No, of course not. We'll be around,
In one form or another, probably not.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
for sure.
Well, I want to thank you two
Cool, thank
so
you.
much for coming in today. It's been great.
course.
like it.
Uh,
My boyfriend keeps sending me pictures of food. He's in New Orleans right now, and I'm really jealous.
oh, there's great food down
He's
there.
on tour right now, bastard.
What band is he in?
He plays guitar for Chimera.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be mad that I just talked about him on the radio or the podcast radio.
On the internet.
On the internet.
interwebs.
Well, it will be archived tomorrow, so
I'll send it to him.
I will tag you guys in it, and then
Cool.
you can fire out the links to your listeners. I mean, Hump Day 7 to 9 is not always convenient for everybody, but we tried to
Sure
pick a day that maybe there wasn't a lot going on, so
Yeah.
people could tune in. But once again, I want to thank you for coming in. It's been great, all the support that you've given to us. When I think about the London bands, you've certainly put London on the map.
I think so too.
And I'm humbled to have you here today.
Cool,
So
thanks
you
for
very much.
having us.
We're having a great time,
Yeah.
and thank you for having us. It was
Anytime.
It was an honor and a privilege to be here.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, we're going to talk some more because you're been the Alcoholies. I think we're going to set up a date where
Yeah.
you guys come in.
Are
for
we gonna go on a date?
We are. It's going to be a date.
That
It's
sounds
official.
sexy.
And you're going to perform as well.
Oh, that sounds great. Can I bring my own drum kit?
Certainly,
Okay, good.
whatever you like. Those ones aren't bad. Those are so nice. It's only a 3-piece.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I have DWs in the
I
other
have
room.
a lot of drums.
Mercedes
I know.
needs her like full-on '80s metal like kit with rototoms
Yeah.
and
But and
chimes
do you
and shit.
now? If you set up this giant kit over there, I'm gonna be watching to make sure you hit every one of those.
I do hit with the songs that we're gonna play. I do hit everything.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I promise. It's not really that big. It's only 6-piece, and I don't really have a whole lot of cymbals. So
Oh, no worries.
no double kick drum because I'm too short for that. I got stumpy legs. Unless I want to play 2/18s, and who the fuck does that?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was telling you at the radio show, the first time I ever met you, I was playing with a funk band at the embassy, and I was coming off stage, and your comment to me was, it's a pretty small kick drum. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And I just kept walking with this puzzled look on my face, like, what does she mean by that? Is that an insult? Was she joking?
I was probably just,
And I'm like, who is that?
I was, that's how I like start conversations with people because
Yeah.
I'm awkward usually. Like,
Yeah, but I got all awkward, and I was like, what does that
well,
mean?
also
just kept
I like
walking.
to make people feel uncomfortable because that's my job.
I would
right?
say mission accomplished on
Yeah.
that one comment. eh?
Totally
Oh,
worked.
he's been thinking about it ever since that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Just been always thinking,
Man, I gotta get the biggest kick drum now.
Next
Now
time
I
I
gotta
see
play
you,
the 26. Shit.
does it reflect my dick? Like, what do I
what does it all mean?
Cock talk.
All right, guys. So if you bear with me, I'm going to run down our sponsors here. We got to thank them before we
course.
sign off, and we're going to end off with the song here. But before we get to that, got to thank the sponsors. First off, J Rhoda Photography, who is absent today. It is not an unexcused absence. Jason has now just got a new job, and it's been taking him into the evenings, and unfortunately has not been able to be here, although he's still a sponsor and is willing to come out and obviously any of the events that we can or that we host rather, that he can attend. He certainly shows up. And great photographer who's been, in this business for 20 years. If you happen to be a band in this market and you're looking for somebody to take some promo shots, whether it's live or otherwise, we always say week in and week out, Instagram's great to capture those moments and whatnot, but it will never compare to a trained photographer that knows how to work with light and knows how to make you look good. So if you're in the market, he's very affordable, and he's just a good guy. He comes out to shows. He'll probably take a couple of pictures for you for free, show you what he's got available, and then you can work something out after the fact. And I think photography is kind of a dying art. It's a shame to see that some people are hanging up the lenses, so to speak, because of the advent of some of the modern technology. But that said, good guy.
Easy to work with as
Easy
well.
to work with. Great photos. Got Adam Jason Rotor Photography. I need to thank Steve and Jane Poulin at the Submission Academy, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is located at Dundas and Egerton here in London. London's foremost school, for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They have an affiliation with Robert Drysdale based out of Las Vegas, and Robert Drysdale trains a number of UFC and MMA fighters, including the likes of Vitor Belfort, among many others. That said, their school right now is blowing up. They've been doing very well for themselves because of the assortment of content that they offer through a number of different classes. They also have kids programs there, and pretty much every competition, well, I don't want to say every because kind of be broad stroking, but the majority of the competitions that their team is entering, they're walking away with medals, and I think that's a testament to the hard work and the preparation that they put in. It's a great form of exercise if you're looking to get in shape through something alternative. Please connect with them, the Brazilian Submission Academy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's hard to say, man. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu.
It's even harder to spell when you're not looking at it.
I know. And then I need to thank Scotty Finlayson, a.k.a. Scotty Fairmont, at fullcolorcards.ca. Great dude. Does some great work. If you happen to be in the market for some business cards, this guy will hook you up. He really knows what he's doing. He's been in the industry for a long time. Check him out, fullcolorcards.ca. And last but not least, Gary, I need to thank you at Shirt for Brains Custom Screen Printing. If you can think it, he can ink it.
6 more days for the promo.
6 more.
Just
So what
saying.
is your promo right now?
Damn, now I got to go into that page.
You don't even remember your own
It's
promo?
like 20 based on 24 t-shirts, 1 color shirt. They work out to $5.50 a piece plus tax. 2 colors, $6.50 a piece plus tax, based on 24. That's it. It's cheap, straightforward.
That's a great deal, man.
It is. It's super cheap. Normally, I think it's like they work out to 1 color is about normally like $6.70 based on everything, and then you put your taxes, you're into $7.20 per. So.
And you do some great work, too. You've done a number of shirts for me for various projects over the years,
Yep.
and I know you've been working with bands.
I'm actually working with Steve right now at the Submission Academy.
Yep.
We're doing a bunch of work for him, and I
Did
know Jason, Rhoda, and I are going to get together and do some J. Rhoda photography t-shirts.
Yeah, you did some work for Siegfried Meyer, too.
Yeah, did some for
Beach Road.
Siggy.
I have a Beach Road shirt. It looks great.
Yeah, the Diadics.
Diadics did some
Yeah,
T-shirts.
Yeah, we did some
so
Diadics.
a lot of people are getting on board.
Creekside, the guys that you just recorded with, we're just doing stuff for their CD release party
Yeah,
coming up.
CD release, May
Mhm.
11th.
Yeah, May
Creekside
11th.
Strays and producing their album. We'll post some stuff up about that, though, as we get closer to the date. I'm really excited about it. Final mixes are done, I think.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Just waiting to hear back for the last couple, and then we venture on to the CD release party. So, just to give you a couple announcements here, because we do have a few things lined up over the next few weeks. It's been getting pretty busy around here. The response has been great, and people have been reaching out to us because they want to get involved. So, let me see, what do we got? So, on Wednesday, May 1st, A New Beginning is going to be joining us in studio for interview and live performance.
Cool.
And they recently just had their CD release party, or EP release, which is at the London Music Hall. And I know they're pretty excited to come in. A couple of the guys from that band actually have their own podcast called the Dude Cast. I think it's PJ Calistine and Aaron. And they've kind of been doing something similar, although they talk about a number of different things. But it's called the Dude Cast, and I want to thank them for reaching out to us through the podcast and endorsing us through that, because we're all in this together, right?
Yep.
So they're going to be coming into the studio. Looking forward to that. The following week, May the 8th, Simon Larachette, who is the recent recipient for the Jack Richardson Music Award for Engineer Producer, who owns the Sugar Shack Recording Studio, is going to be coming in to the Vaults at London Indie Underground to talk about his studio. And we'll also be joined by Texas King, who we feature them. They have a song called Paper Tiger.
Yep.
However, they just released their new EP, so they'll be coming in for a live performance and interview. Really looking forward to them. They performed at the Jack Richardson Music Awards and were stellar. And they've got a great sound, very refined. They've been working on it for some time. They're all music industry arts grads. It's going to be great to have them in the studio here. Wednesday, May 15th, I know this is a little ways away, but UTKF is going to be here in the studio for interview and live performance. And last but not least, Wednesday, May 29th, Fun Fact is going to be on once again for live performance and interview. Last but not least, right now we are holding a contest. So if you're in a band and you're listening to this right now and you're an emerging young artist and you're looking to cut your teeth, or you're a little bit more of an established band and you're looking to try to, you know, build up some momentum in the market, we are having a contest right now called Battle for the Underground. You may see our previous one, the results of which brought in bands like the Baxters and Mr. Tasty here into the studio. That said, Battle for the Underground, what we're doing is going to be a month-long contest, really easy to enter into your band. All you need to do is go to our event page, post a link to your online page of choice. So whether it's Facebook, you know, whether it's SoundCloud, Bandcamp, whatever the case may be. And then all you need to do is to activate your friends, your fans, and your family to go onto that event page and to click on like on any of the links that are on the wall that relate to your band. And what's going to happen is the 3 top liked bands, so the 3 bands with the most votes vis-a-vis likes, the panel here at London Indie Underground is going to determine who the winner of those 3 bands are. And the first place band is going to receive a live on-air performance and interview here at London Indie Underground. 1 free song recorded, mixed and mastered here at the Vault Recording Studio. CHRW airplay of your new song that was recorded here on our primetime radio show on Fridays from 3:30 until 6 p.m. And they're also going to receive an opening slot on a summer camp production show, which is to be determined as we move forward. So great opportunity for that band there to get quite a bit of exposure. We encourage you to participate and post your stuff up. What's the worst that could happen, you know? And the second and third place band, the consolation prize is we will offer them some airtime and some promotion here at London Indie Underground. So either way, all the bands are going to be able to benefit from it. And I'm hoping some people are going to jump on it no differently than they did last time, because the response was great. Mm-hmm. Anything you'd like to add?
Just I meant to mention this last time after we had the guys from the Mercy Now.
Yep.
April 20th, they played a show opening for the Dictators.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, because one of the guys had said that one of their biggest influence was the Dictators and MC5. But anyways, a friend of mine went and saw them and was just blown away by them.
They were great.
Yeah, but it was just nice to see them come in here, do that thing, and then basically to hear because we just thought they were from the first time you got the MP3s from them.
Right.
Thought they were the greatest thing.
Yeah.
And then to see them go out after coming in and hanging out with them, and then seeing them going out and seeing people I know that I respect in music see them and just be blown away by them was pretty just a cool thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A great band, and we definitely need to bring them down here. I know that we'll probably be working with Brandon to try to set up a show for them. Perhaps even with my other project, Marcellus Wallace, our Motown Soul band, we'll be coming to market with fairly soon, I would think.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. This has been a great podcast. I had a lot of fun. Once again, I want to thank you, ladies, for coming in and participating with this and giving us lots of great content.
Thanks for having us.
Oh no, it's my
Anytime.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Anytime you need somebody to come in.
You're
and
welcome here
talk crazy
anytime. Getty, thanks for coming in, buddy.
No problem.
Do you have any show announcements coming up? Anything you need to plug?
May 11th, Traumahawk at the Dude Ranch, the Dustin's 30th birthday party show.
Awesome.
And then we just announced a show with Burning Love. That's July 12th, I believe it is.
Okay, so a little ways away, but
yeah, that's a little ways away. But May 11th, Dude Ranch. It's a Saturday. Come out and party.
And as you get closer to those kind of shows, right, make sure you hit us up and we can fire that out to our listeners. Brando, thanks for coming in. Is there a game on right now that you've been watching? No. What's did the Leafs win?
2-2 right now.
2-2. You don't care. Nice.
You guys are still lucky for another day.
Oh, whatever. We'll
the only
see.
person that cares is Joel about the Leafs, right?
He does.
No, I'm a Leafs fan.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like I said, Bruins lost last night, but so did the Habs, so you guys are safe for another day.
I don't know anything about hockey.
Well, you know what, man? I can't complain. We're in the playoffs. Even if we get swept out in 4 games in a row, hey,
But
at
we
least
play
we made
Montreal. I'm confident.
Oh, yeah, we'll
confidence.
kick their ass.
Play Boston. We're going to get swept.
Side note, real quick. Did you see that they were trying to get a petition going to turn the
Yeah,
CN Tower into a giant goal light?
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, because it would go off once.
You know, you say that, but the Leafs actually have goals for one of the better
Top
goals for
3 in the league, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
It's just more of just wasting money. I think
how
it was
much-
you who posted it that I saw it, and I read the story, and the guy's like, "We haven't been there in 9 years, so let's waste a whole bunch of money and do." I'm just like, come on.
The last time the Leafs were in the playoffs, Facebook only had 500 total users.
Well,
Thanks,
there's
Tips.
hope.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You've been waiting a little while to pull that one out, and pull
You've
it
never
forward?
watched a Leafs playoff game in high definition.
Any other?
You got any other
Useless
quick?
trivia?
You got any other one-liners here, Mitch Hedberg? Come on.
Saved by
Thank
the buoyancy of citrus.
I went to the doctor. He tried to suck blood out of my neck. Do not go see Dr. Acula. That's my favorite.
I like
Mitch
Texas
Hedberg joke.
toast, but I don't have a Texas toaster.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening again. My name is Jimmy James. We're broadcasting you from the Vault Recording Studio. If you've tuned into the London Indie Underground, please join us next week, 7 to 9 p.m. Thanks again.
Friday, 3:30 to 6.
Yeah, well, I'm going to play a promo that's going to give that away.
You didn't tell me that.
Don't.
So we're going to end this off.
ejaculate
We're going to end this off with a band called the Divine Right of Kings, which also features some members of another band called Ghost Ship Victoria, which I produced here at the Vault. But anyways, we'll end this off with Deadbeat, Divine Right of Kings on the London Indie Underground. Thanks for tuning in.
Show